Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terrence Crawford next.
You're gonna make that happen?
Huh?
You're gonna make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm gonna get these straps that I'm gonna go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Now, strap season, y'all know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the board. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he code switch focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that can end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. With my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibes. I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a peace, man. I ain't got no time for a peace, man. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, they you might want to get out of Dodge while they eat. Honestly, think it's not the blood and the beef, and they don't leave anything behind after eating.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a... When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they wanna call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob, with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. With my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibes. I'm the kingpin.
Happening everybody, what's good, man? What a hell of a fight, man. What's going on? 300 up here at Bruce Gas Boxing and More up in the building. What's going on? 300 is in the building. What's going on, man? Getting lost in the script in the building. Gabe, what's happening, bro? Told you, I had to come back, bro. I was tired as hell last night, bro. I was like, whoo, man, I had to spend all night watching boxing, boy. Your old lady be on you, boy. You had to, I said, God damn. And so you just don't understand. We just had a classic, hell of a classic fight. When I tell you, man, this shit was that fight was so goddamn good, bro. You could tell when you got a damn good fight when you want to watch it again and again and get all the nuances out of it, right? You know what I'm saying? Because when you first watch it, it was just the excitement was just so good, bro. You were just waiting, you know what I'm saying, for the drama to pop off and see what was going to happen next. But then, when you got to watch it a second time, you know what I'm saying, to see what was really going on with the boxing and everything, even though you can kind of get an overglance of the first, you just be so filled up with excitement, anticipation, what's going to happen that, you know what I'm saying, you just kind of glance over it, but this fight was so goddamn good because they did some beautiful boxing in the fourth round, third, fourth round. They did some beautiful boxing, bro. So you kind of got to go back and break it down and analyze to see what the hell you saw. Because when you have two guys that's skilled and they're going against each other, you want to see how did they get there, how did they get those punches off, how did they deliver them, and that is the excitement of it for us kind of boxing heads and stuff. And man, it was just so dramatic, man. You just didn't want to miss a moment. And that's the kind of fight that Jaron Boots Ennis want to give people, man. People criticize him for getting hit a lot, but I think, what I'm saying, if a fighter don't get hit, what I'm saying, yeah, he might be an all-time great, but he's not going to be as exciting, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think Boots wants to go out there and give exciting fights like this, man. And if he could continue his career until he gets beat, what I'm saying, like this, he's going to make a lot of money because I was entertained. I was highly entertained. God damn it! I was in this. I was up in here. I thought I was back in goddamn 1996. You know what I'm saying? The way them boys were going at it. You know what I'm saying? Now I have to take a pause. I have to take a pause. It might be a weak boxing era, but they still got some dogs out there, bro. And Xander Zayas is a dog. He went out on his shield, bro. I mean, yes, he did quit, but I mean, come on now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he had anything left. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see him take extra punish. I would not want to see Xander Zayas. He got broke down. He went down. I did not want to see him all blooded and stuff because he's only 23 years old. Um, he was clearly outclassed last night, and I didn't want to see him take any extra punishment. And maybe that's the dad in me. You know what I'm saying? If that was my son, I don't want him to go all out like the old timers did. You know what I'm saying? Because he is 23 years old, and I think he's going to do some great things in the future. I don't want him to get fucked up like that. You know what I'm saying? Because Boots was clearly on his way to, you know what I'm saying, to giving us some of that old school beatdown stuff. I'm glad Xander quit when he did. He realized he didn't have nothing left, no energy. And I attribute that not to only Jaron Boots Ennis, what I'm saying, boxing style and his determination and his meanness. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was like he was just on another level, bro. Great fighters can turn up to another level, even when they in adversity. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Floyd get Falumaloom by DeMarcus Corley, by Sugar Shane Mosley, but he had to suck it up. We seen him get Falumaloom by Zab Judah, right? You know what I'm saying? But when he get hit and hurt, he know what to do. He stayed calm. Stayed calm. You know what I'm saying? When that fire was coming. And that's what great fighters do. They find a way, to overcome, and they stay calm under pressure. And that's the vibes that I got from you know what I'm saying, the Black Thor of Philly, man. He was just calm, bro. Even when he got pummeled by Xander Zayas, you know what I'm saying? He was calm in the eye of the storm, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he was still trying to, evade punches, even though he was still getting clipped a little bit. He held on when he had to, because a lot of great fighters, that pride, like Errol Smith, they don't know how to clinch. They don't know how to clinch, bro. I mean, they know how to clinch, but They pride won't allow them to clinch like they should. And you know what I'm saying? And see, I thought something like that was gonna happen to Jaron, but Jaron like, hell to the no, for to hold on to your ass. So he had to clinch, bro, because Xander had popped him with a couple of good shots, and he was trying to get some space to get that dude to try to line him up to finish him off. And Boots wouldn't allow it, you know what I'm saying? And that was like the vulnerable part. And he got hit, he got hurt again, you know what I'm saying? But Boots by that time was starting to adjust to those heavy punches that Zion was landing, and he had got his legs up under him. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty exciting, bro, to see Boots in trouble in adversity. And I think, it's almost as if people hate fighters if they just too dominant, right? If you just, like you're just invincible, you know what I'm saying? But when they see that you're human, and they see that that you show your toughness by taking a couple of punches and getting rocked, you know what I'm saying? People tend to respect you a lot more as a champion, because I don't know, I guess you can kind of relate to a fighter that, has some flaws, you know what I'm saying? I think the reason why people didn't like Floyd, because he was so dominant, you know what I'm saying? He was so evasive. Fighters like Shakur Stevenson, they never go through any adversity. But when Floyd got Falumalooms a couple of times, and they saw Floyd was fight, say, well, get in that pocket and fight. That's when Floyd got a whole bunch of respect from people, because he is not running. You know what I'm saying? Floyd will step inside of your chest and fight you. Now Jaron Boots has shown some of that same determination, that he's willing to fight on the inside. We know he's a brawler. And I think that he survived this because Xander is not a brawler on the inside. So he's going to have to be careful. I understand the criticism of what people are saying, but now is not the time, my brother. My brother just, Jaron Boots Ennis, this is his day. I mean, he went out there and he knew he had to dominate this fight because if it just would have been an average kind of fight where, you know what I'm saying, he just kind of got by like the Shakur Stevensons of the world, they would have said he's trash. They would say he's just a average fighter. They wouldn't have gave no credence, you know what I'm saying, to his name up at 154. So he had to go out here and make a statement. And to have that kind of pressure on you when a lot of people want you to fail is incredible, bro. I mean, to go out there and show out and then almost get Falumaloom yourself, bro. People, this would turn the tide, I believe, for Jaron Boots Ennis because he has shown us that, you know what I'm saying, that he can overcome this kind of thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was just so proud of that kid. I was proud of Xander too, man, because Xander never showed any kind of indecisiveness. He went out there thinking that he was gonna put the beats on Jaron Boots Ennis. And that shit was, I mean, he was really trying to get Boots ass up out of there, bro. I mean, and I think he spent himself. I think he punched himself out, you know what I'm saying, with all that extra weight because they said that he rehydrated up to 180 pounds. And that means this man, Boots, was fighting a cruiserweight up in there. So, you know what I'm saying, I think it came back to bite him in the ass. You know what I'm saying? That strategy, you know what I'm saying, he should have just went all out. I think if he would have really concentrated on going all out, he could have at least got a knockdown and really hurt Boots bad to the point where, but Boots was in such good shape. See, this is why it's so important for these fighters to live a healthy boxer lifestyle, right? Because you never know when you're going to have to dig deep inside you and pull up, you know what I'm saying, that Super Saiyan power, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to, so you can recover. And Boots recovered beautifully, to the point by the end of that round, you knew that he was gonna be you knew he was gonna be okay if he sat down for those couple of minutes, you know what I'm saying, for the break. And you could see he had Xander looking like he was on the way out. You know what I'm saying? He knocked Xander down 3 times in this fight. I mean, it was just so surprising that Xander went down in the first round. I was like, oh my God, bro, this shit is good. You know what I'm saying? And I thought Xander would get at least one knockdown from Boots. You know what I'm saying? But Xander had so much weight on him, bro. He just could not deal. He could not deal with that extra weight and Boots at the same time. The weight was for the pummeling. You know what I'm saying? And when he started, he should have just went for broke. See, if that was Marcos Mondana, if that was Mayoga, somebody like that who just throw punches and bunches and shit, if that would have been like I don't know about William Zepeda, but you need a volume puncher like that just constantly throw. I think they would have beat Boots, man. You know what I'm saying? Because man, them boys, you don't know where the punches coming from. They coming from up top, from the side. They coming from everywhere, and that's what Xander needed. He needed that brawler spirit and know what he's doing in there. You know what I'm saying? As far as throwing them hands, but in the exchanges, Boots was the master on the inside. And Xander, he's more of an outside long range type guy. And saying he just didn't have the instincts on the inside to, know when to keep going, know when to wait for the count. See, when you're a counter puncher, you're always waiting for that punch to counter on. And that's the instinct that Xander was working on. He's just not a natural brawler. And I think if he was a natural brawler, he might have won this fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he had Boots stunned for a second, but when Boots got his goddamn senses, it was on and popping, bro. It was on and popping. You know what I'm saying? Boots never let up, and he was able to get to that body on the inside, and that's what I told everybody. That was my assessment. I said he's a big boy, and he's probably going to come in there and rehydrate to a heavy weight. And Boots needs to work on that body because he's going to try to absorb those shots early. And he's going to try to go for what he knows. And Boots' speed, power was impressive. The jab that Jaron Boots Ennis was putting out there, man, that boy jab is something special. I don't know how much of it is the athletic side or just the skill or both, but the boy jab is something special to watch. The way he just zips that thing over there. If Boots, I do believe this, and a lot of people don't believe this, that Boots can just box a person, bro. That he could just box himself, but I think he don't want to win like that. I think Boots don't want to win like that. Some fighters, some fighters, you know what I'm saying, they just want to win by any means necessary. But fighters like, Roy Jones Jr., fighters like, you know what I'm saying, what's his name? Sugar Shane Mosley. They want the drama of the fight. They want to go in there. They want to really beat you down. And those kind of fighters, it's dangerous for them because they putting themselves within range to get hit and they offensive minded, but that's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And I understand what my boxing aficionados out there, they want to see a fighters that can swim without getting wet and put the beats on you. You know what I'm saying? But there's only a few fighters that can do that. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some specialized skills. You got to be a Pernell Whitaker. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a Floyd Mayweather. It's only a few fighters got that kind of style where they can be all up in your face, all in the inside, and just, what I'm saying, slipping punches and stuff like that. Those are special. Those are special all time. There's different levels to this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You got the Holyfields. You know what I'm saying? Holyfields, he wasn't good at slipping punches and shit. He was getting hit right in the damn chest. You know what I'm saying? He was taking a lot of shots. He did that little crab defense shit that he was doing. You know what I'm saying? But, he stood in the pocket and he traded. You know what I'm saying? Even he was still a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? So we got to cut it out. You know what I'm saying? There are no Floyd Mayweathers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? There are no Floyd Mayweathers. You know what I'm saying? There are no more Pernell Whitakers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all these fighters are basically, if they're offensive minded, they're going to get Falumalooms in there, bro. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of fighters' mentality, they want to be dominant. It's a psychological battle as well as a physical battle. That's what we need to understand. And Boots could not back down. He could, because if he would have backed down, that would have been the worst thing for him. Because that would have gave Xander Zayas the sense that he could go in there, you know what I'm saying, and finish him off. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, if you catch a fighter good, you know what I'm saying, you got to do like Floyd. You got to keep your face. You got to keep your poise. You know what I'm saying? You can't let a motherfucker know that you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And they're watching your body language. So psychologically, you know what I'm saying, you got to stay in the fight. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes, you take the gamble and you fucked up and they go ahead and knock your ass out. But sometimes you stand there like Boots did, you know what I'm saying? He didn't know, he wasn't sure if Boots was trying to set him up for a shot. So you know what I'm saying? It's like you got to see what situation you in, and you got to push it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And Boots did the correct thing, because I think Xander would have came in on his ass and shit. Xander wasn't sure if Boots was setting him up for some shit, but Boots was fucked up a couple of times in this fight. What's going on? What's happening, Drake? Right? What's going on? He says Boots destroyed. He says Xander made him Xander made him quit. And the only people are talking about it is that he got hit with a shot in the third round. He says, this is boxing. Everybody gets hit. The hate is real. God damn it. Draper, right? You goddamn right. The hate is real. But I don't think it's hate. I think you're talking to boxing purists who don't care. I mean, they breaking down the fight as far as Boots being a Bud Crawford or a Floyd Mayweather. They looking at it from that view, you know what I'm saying? Because they're looking at his skills and they're assessing his skills against the great ones. And that's what I was just saying. Like, everybody's not going to be able to swim without getting wet because of their mentality. And, you know what I'm saying? But Boots is an offensive minded dude. He's an offense first type dude. So you're gonna get Falumalooms, bro, doing that. And so he don't mind though. He understands. Boots would take your shot and see what you got, just like EJ. He didn't give a damn. He went in there, he just took the shots and see what you had and see if he could weather that storm. So some fighters are offensive minded first. And if you're going to be offensive minded, there's not a lot of really great offensive fighters, like a Manny Pacquiao. See, Manny Pacquiao had to pay the price, you know what I'm saying? But it took Marquez 4 fights to get the timing, you know what I'm saying, to get the Falumaloom when he was, how Manny Pacquiao rushes in, whoop, whoop, And see, it took at least 3 fights to get his timing down so he could set him up for the Falumaloom. Because Manny Pacquiao do come in face first, and that's how he went out, face first. But it took 4 fights for him to do that, to execute it. So you know what I'm saying? You know, if you like offense and you're gonna be a offensive fighter, you're gonna be an exciting fighter. You're gonna be the fighter that kind of like put on a show. You know what I'm saying? That's what Boots wants. You know, he don't want to be the boxer that just beats you from the outside. You know what I'm saying? You know, now if he could just mix it up, if he could just mix it up a little bit, I haven't seen too many fighters that just good with just kind of mixing that up, you know, that got those kind of athletic abilities and stuff. But because Boots takes so much criticism, you know what I'm saying? He felt like he had to go out there and make this kind of statement. He had to go in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? He had to show people that he wasn't scared of the moment. You know what I'm saying? He is that kind of dude. I am the guy that can step, you know what I'm saying, with the pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? I am that guy that can go in there and knock somebody out. You know what I'm saying? I want people to expect knockouts in my fight. And that's the message that he sent to the rest of the 154 division, that you step to me, this is what's going to happen to you, right? You might rock me, but I'm going to get you before you get me. And he sent that shit out there clearly, that he's coming. He's coming for ass. He don't care if it's Fedora. He don't care if it's what's his name? What's the other guy with the belt? Joe. What's the name? I forget the other guy who just got the belt. But he don't care, bro. He wants to make exciting fights. He want to be one of those champions that's talked about when you pay your money. You know what I'm saying? You happy that you paid this money, and that's the kind of fighter that he want to be. He don't want to be no damn perfect ass fighter where you know he's just winning on points and shit. He could clearly do that. He was so much faster than Xander Zayas. He was just so much faster than him. Yes, he could have just boxed him. You know what I'm saying? He just could have moved around the ring. But guess what? Everybody today would be saying Boots is trash. That's what they would be saying. Josh Kelly, yeah. Everybody would be saying Boots is trash. I'm gonna tell you another thing. If he decides to fight, and I know Eddie Hearn wants Boots to fight Josh Kelly, that's gonna be a bad move for Boots. You know what I'm saying? For his reputation, because right now he's got a hater group that's building that's going to want to see him beat, and they're going to want to see him fight Fedora. Now I don't consider him trash if he fight Josh Kelly. That's just him trying to get more power and getting more of a split in a fight between him and Fedora, because Fedora really got more cachet, you know what I'm saying, than Boots. You know what I'm saying? But Boots, you know what I'm saying, is already a bona fide star. It's just that Fedora been sitting up there for a while, you know what I'm saying, cashing checks and snapping necks. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. So yeah, I think they'll come together and make a great agreement. I think Fedora will just do it for the opportunity. And now that Boots is unified, it's going to be, he's going to be a target. Everybody's going to come for him. You know, Virgil Ortiz, I would love to see him take a sidestep and fight Virgil Ortiz, because that's a dangerous fight for him. Even though I think he can I think he can move around Virgil Ortiz. But Virgil Ortiz sent out a tweet. He sent out a tweet that he's coming, bro. I mean, that ain't exactly what he said, but he put it out there to let him know that he want that fight. You know what I'm saying? He think he'll knock Boots out. So he put it out there during the third round, from what I understand, when Boots got hurt, that you know he want that fight, and that he would be able to finish the job that Xander wasn't able to do. And one thing about it is that your boy Virgil Ortiz is a brawler. So he's Mexican, and Mexicans love to get down and dirty in the trenches, right? And if that was Virgil Ortiz, if he had that opportunity where Xander was, I think Virgil Ortiz would have knocked out Jaron Boots Ennis. But I don't think Jaron Boots Ennis would let it get to that point. I don't think he would go in there and brawl with Virgil Ortiz. I could be wrong about that, because that is that boy's natural instinct, is to fight. You know, so he loves to fight, just like Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford, he likes to fight. You know, he can box you, but he wants to knock your ass out, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's going on? He said, what you say? Terrence Enhanced Snacks needs to stay retired. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's coming back. If he's coming back, he's only coming back for one fight. He's coming back for that Canelo fight, because they offering crazy money. Or they're probably offering money to try to fight David Benavidez, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Crawford looking for $100 million to come back. So you know what I'm saying? That he ain't playing no games. Dope boy, what's going Dope boy ego says the phenom Jaron Boots Ennis is that guy. He says I have been saying that, but he says Virgil has done has done anything to deserve a fight with Boots. Well, it ain't about deserving. It's just that we know that these two are rivals. You know, it ain't about what Virgil has done. We just know his skill set. Just like Xander. Xander did not have to fight Jaron Boots Ennis, but Xander knows Boots' reputation. They knows he's a danger. He knows the clout that he's going to get from beating Jaron. He's going to be taken seriously. And it's the same with Virgil Ortiz. It's another test, you know what I'm saying, for Jaron Boots Ennis, because Virgil Ortiz brings a lot of mystique and a lot of toughness. You know what I'm saying? He's a dangerous fighter. And for him, for Boots to be able to choose that fight, I think that would help prepare him for Fedora, because he is still getting acclimated to the 154 division. You know what I'm saying? And so if he take that fight and beat Virgil, you know what I'm saying, that's just a little bit more experience at 154 that Boots will have to be able to deal with Fedora. I think Fedora is a monster, you know, just because of his long division. I'm not saying he's the best boxer in the world, but the things that was hindering him fighting, you know, because he used to fight small and bent over and stuff that was getting him knocked out. Now he's fighting tall with a jab, with a better jab. So it's scary how better Fundora is fighting right now. So Boots, you know what I'm saying, he need to make sure that he got all the experience he needs. He need to stay active before he take that Fundora fight. I don't want to see him take one moment off. You know what I'm saying? I want him to stay active, and when he hit Fundora, I think he'll be able to make the adjustment. What's going on? Dark Kent in the building, the 300 coming up in here, baby. That's what I'm talking about. He says, Dark Kent says it shouldn't be a problem now to set the Fundora unification next, if possible. He said, I believe Fundora is the best fighter to dethrone at 154, in my opinion. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I just want Boots to get all the experience that he can. I don't think it's a bad fight with Virgil Ortiz, because that's a dangerous fight. And I think that'll keep him balanced. That'll keep him on the edge, you know what I'm saying, to be able to make those adjustments. Because when you're dormant and you're not fighting, that's when you start to slip your tools. You're not able to make your instincts, you know what I'm saying? You're not able to make the best decision, because he's going to need all that shit when he fights Fundora. He's going to have to make all kind of adjustments. He's going to have to step outside that. He's going to have to figure out the range. He's going to have to slip. He's going to have to, and you see how he reacts when he gets Falumalooms. You know what I'm saying? Fundora's going to keep going, you know, because Fundora is a brawler. Fundora is a brawler, right? We seen what he did to Eric Lubin, you know what I'm saying? And Eric Lubin was a good boxer. He knocked him down. If he would have stayed, if Erickson Lubin would have stayed boxing, he would have beat Fundora. But no, he had to get out there and be a macho man and try to. He thought he had Fundora once he knocked him down, and he took 99 goddamn uppercuts to the goddamn nose. The shit got pushed in, and I was so pissed off with Lubin. You know what I'm saying? And he never been the same since. You know, he never been the same since. You know, we went out there and fought Virgil Ortiz and got Falumaloom. What it was, the first round, I was like, man, he shot, man. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I picked Lubin to win that fight, and Virgil, and I'm a Virgil Ortiz Jr. fan. But shit, Lubin, he can't take a punch now. You know, he's done. He says Floyd and Pernell Whitaker was not as exciting as Jaron. Man, you crazy as hell. You crazy as hell, bro. You don't know boxing if you're talking that shit, boy. Floyd was a bad motherfucker. I'm not just saying that as a fan. Pernell was a bad man. Pernell had some goddamn drop down. Go watch that Roger Mayweather fight. Go watch him and Chavez, bro. You crazy. I can't believe you put that in my comments. You crazy as hell, man. Floyd had some guys. DeMarcus Corley, Zab Judah, Drunken Master, shit. What's his name? What's the Puerto Rican fighter he fought? Castillo. Man, are you crazy? Man, Bruce just had one good, exciting fight. Shit, what the hell you talking about? He only had two. You know what I'm saying? Floyd got about goddamn 30 goddamn exciting fights. He crazy, bro. He says Josh Kidd. Yeah, I got that. But no, you no, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. He says, what up, Pool? He says the difference between Boots and EJ is EJ protected himself better than Boots from clean flush shots. He didn't do it in that Ugas fight. He didn't do that shit in that Ugas fight. You know what I'm saying? EJ started getting, you could tell that his defense and his reflexes and cognitive abilities was starting to slip because he was, man, that Ugas fight, man, I was like, God damn, boy, EJ was taking some hellacious shit. He's lucky that Ugas isn't known for power. He's lucky that Ugas didn't have the power, you know what I'm saying, of some of the older welterweights because he would have lost that fight. Ugas was hitting them flush. And I never seen EJ get hit with so many flush punches, but I understand what you're saying. Um, I think the earlier EJ that applies to, you know what I'm saying, before the decline. I could say that. I could say that, you know. But you know what I'm saying, Boots gonna take shots, bro, because he's gonna take risks. And I just don't understand, I mean, I understand from a boxing purist side that I understand the criticism that his actual boxing art and craft and IQ, that no, he's not the perfect boxer. He is not. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that has to do with his mentality. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Because once a fighter, you know what I'm saying, he's what, 29 years old, he's not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? At 29, he's not gonna change. He fights how he fights, right? So, you know what I'm saying? But he can become more defensively responsible, you know what I'm saying, according to who he's fighting. Because I do think he will be more defensively responsible when he got like an offensive machine like Fundora, right? Fundora is a fucking offensive machine. So if you don't think defense, you're definitely not going to win that fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about slipping. I'm talking about staying out of range. I'm talking about how to engage, all that stuff. He's going to have to figure out a new way, you know what I'm saying? Because he's not going to be able to fight Fundora the way he fought Xander Zayas. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know how he's going to, all I know is that he's going to have to get to Fundora body and he's going to just have to concentrate on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And if he can get over the top and knock Fundora down and just box, man, he's a very interesting puzzle to solve. You know what I'm saying? And Boost just can, all he can do is like really get into the best condition, go in there with a game plan to box. You know what I'm saying? Attack when he can, and let's let the chips fall where they may. Man, that dude there is a nightmare, bro. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? CF says, he said, there's such thing as hit and not get hit. Boxing had always been a gladiator sport, barbaric for killed or be killed. That's true. That is so true. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you said, it's like a two-pronged thing. It's like you can win the fight, but then you're gonna get criticized, for the craft and the science, the art and the science of it. You know what I'm saying? Boots, you know what I'm saying? He used a little bit of both last night, but I think he saw what he wanted to see. He saw that Xander was too big. He saw that that body was a little soft. He was softening up that body, and he didn't want to let him off the hook. You know what I'm saying? By boxing. You know what I'm saying? If he would have boxed, he would have let him off the hook, and it would have took. I do believe it would have took a longer time for Boots to. For Boots to get him up out of there if he just would have kept boxing. So what he did was he made sure that he stayed in range so he could return fire because his hands were faster. You know what I'm saying? He knew he was more athletic than he knew he was a better inside fighter than Xander Zayas. I don't know I think Xander Zayas got to the point where he couldn't fight another fight. He couldn't use his legs. That's why I was screaming last night. If you make it to the sixth round, if you make it to the second half of the fight, that this is going to be a Boots fight, because I could tell by the way Xander was moving that he was breaking down. You know what I'm saying? And I know Boots could see it too. That's why he stayed on top of him. When somebody come in there overweight, you make them work. You make them work. And Boots knew that he was in top shape. A lot of this stuff is simple. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff is simple, elementary. You know what I'm saying? You be in better shape than your opponent. You know what I'm saying? And Boots is one of them type of dudes that if you're not in top shape, he's going to figure it out. He's going to find out. You know what I'm saying? And I think Xander was in good shape. He just had them extra pounds on him, and it made him slow. And it made him a target. You know what I'm saying? He was a sitting duck, so to speak. He didn't even use his legs like he usually do. He said, I think Boots should fight the winner of Kelly and Fundora. You know what I'm saying? Well, we already know who's going to be the winner of that. So, he might as well prepare for Fedora. He says, Josh Kelly, now, if Josh Kelly shocked the world because he did beat Bacham, I thought Bacham was going to be a problem, boy. He got exposed bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I really thought, I never really thought of Josh Kelly as a top fighter like that. But right now, we got a lot of it's a weak type fighters are grabbing the belt. And just like Maginoff and Bud just came and snatched that shit from him. You know what I'm saying? How long was he champion? Like 3 days before Bud came and snatched that shit from him. So we don't have the type of fighters that up there that that's gonna reign for a long time. So the belts are changing hands really fast. You know what I'm saying? When they get challenged. That's why I don't want to see all this cherry picking, because as soon as somebody with some skills come up there and get tested, they gone. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they're not real fighters. I'm just saying like they don't have the ability to defend those belts. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that lasting ability, that skill, you know what I'm saying, like a Marvin Hagler who was able to fight everybody in the division and hold on to his belt. Now sometimes politics come into play with that, but you know what I'm saying? Marvin was able to fight that guy again, and he beat him the first time clearly, and he beat him the second time. He just knocked his ass out the second time. He says, well, he quit. What was that Italian guy named? You know what I'm saying? He quit. But Marvin fought he was one of the rare fighters to fight everybody in his division. You know what I'm saying? Before he became champion and got respect. He fought everybody. He said Boots Ennis versus Josh Kelly. He said make it happen in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Hey, okay, man, people want to see that fight, I guess. What's going on, Mr. Moet? 300 in the building, baby. Yeah, man, y'all, if y'all know the 300, join the 300, bro. You know what I'm saying? We've been here for what, about 6-7 years? You know what I'm saying? Doing this thing, we be on these fights, bro. Let me see, what's going on? Darkin says, Ortiz is not a threat to Boots, even before Boots won the last fight. But don't you want to see it, Darkin? Don't you want to see it? I want to see it because he did get knocked down 2 times in that Boca Chuck fight. A lot of people thought that Virgil Ortiz lost that fight. I thought he lost that fight too. But I still want to see him fight Jaron Boots Ennis just because of the Mexican black dynamic. And I like the way Virgil Ortiz fight. It's just that he has a confidence crisis going on right now. Um, you know, a lot of these fighters are not who we think they are, right? When they start to come across really great competition and they start to slow down and they start to not want to make the fights, that's how you know that they're different, right? You know what I'm saying? Because a real confident fighter, they're gonna take that fight. If you're a champion and you get challenged, you're gonna be ready to take that fight. Right now, a lot of these guys are making business moves. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that. Said Virgil he got dropped. He got dropped 3 times. What's going on, Philly Bull in the building? What's up? Salute to you, my brother. Happy Father's Day to you, and everybody in the chat. Happy Father's Day. He says, Virgil Ortiz is a basic fighter. Come forward. You can't beat Boots like that. He says, no. He said, Boots stops Ortiz. I'm telling you now. I believe it. He says, Xander Zayas skill-wise is better than Virgil. Yeah, okay, yeah. He is more versatile than Virgil Ortiz. But Virgil Ortiz, he just got that power and he's just got that willingness, you know what I'm saying, to throw his hands, you know what I'm saying, to let his hands go. And like you said, you know what I'm saying, Boots ain't gonna be standing there for no Virgil Ortiz to come in with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But it's still gonna be an exciting fight, you know what I'm saying? Cause Virgil's gonna be coming, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even though I do think he will get broke down. He says Virgil was getting touched up by Maginoff, even though Virgil won. Yep. You know, he says Fedora versus Boots would be undisputed. Fedora, will be yeah. Well, I mean, you got Josh Kelly got one of them, Doughboy, Ego, Josh Kelly. So let me see. Yeah. Now, Fedora did have 2 at 1, but they stripped his ass and stuff. So he said shit. Porter was giving Spence work. He said Porter was giving Spence work before Spence got the knockdown on Porter. Yeah, but Porter was ready, man. If you can only imagine somebody going to the hyperbolic time chamber, you know what I'm saying? Porter, that was the only fighter I ever seen that fought against Spence that went into the hyperbolic time chamber. you know what I'm saying, on his ass. He really wanted to give Errol. He gave that fight everything he had. You know what I'm saying? And you fighting the not just the best version, but more. He went in there and proved himself, improved his explosiveness, improved. He had like what, 3 coaches. I mean, he went all out to try to beat Spence. You know what I'm saying? And brought like the absolute best version. It wasn't just Porter, it was ultimate Porter. It was the ultimate Porter. You know what I'm saying? If it was an alternate universe and he could be like a fucking Dragon Ball Z character, he came in there like he was Krillin or some shit. You know what I'm saying? With that extra power and shit. And EJ went in, he was in a fat camp. You know what I'm saying? EJ wasn't at his best during that fight because he had to just make the weight. He was already struggling to make 147 back then. And then he was still drinking and all that bullshit at the time. And he still was able to drop Porter. So, you know, I mean, that I just think it was circumstances that was, you know what I'm saying, extraordinary in Porter's case. You know what I'm saying? If that Porter that fought Errol Spence Jr. would have fought Keith Thurman, he would have beat Keith Thurman. You see what I'm saying? If he would have pushed himself to in those fights, I think that Porter would have beat Bud Crawford. The Porter that trained the way he trained in DC, not the Porter that trained in his front yard, and the Porter that was setting up podcasts and doing interviews and shit during the time he should have been training, not the one that was walking out on training when his daddy was trying to, you know, that was what he did for Bud. That's the Porter that trained for Bud, right? You know what I'm saying? If the Porter that trained for EJ, you know what I'm saying, would fight Bud, I think Bud wouldn't have been here. You know what I'm saying? That was a different Porter, bro. Bro was that boy was different. He was fighting with a lot of extra spirit and ferocity, man, against EJ. He fought EJ like he slapped his mama. You know what I'm saying? He fought EJ like he stole his lunch. You know what I'm saying? He said Boots is a better fighter than Spence. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Y'all know what channel y'all on. He says Boots will adjust to Fedora. Trust me. I believe he might. You know what I'm saying? But Fedora always surprising motherfuckers, man. He says Fedora is Fedora's gonna be Boots' toughest fight. I think, of course, we all know that. He said respect to Xander. He says I'm not gonna lie. I thought my man was on the brink of stopping. Man, hey, that's what I said to y'all. I said there's gonna be a competitive fight. When he came in there, he was hitting Boots, and you saw Boots shaking a little bit. You saw Boots just kind of hesitate. You saw how he got hit with the jab and it buckled his head back. Man, I was like, oh my God, man, he is fit to knock out Boots, man. You know, then Boots, you know, when he laid back on the ropes and he was able to evade a couple of punches, but he was still kind of getting Falumalooms. I said, okay, he needs to clinch. And then he clinched. And I said, okay, Boots gonna make it out this round. And I said, but he did catch Xander. He did catch Xander, you know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? Boots is still punching good. You know, he's not missing. And you know, he's hitting him to that body. So I said he's gonna be okay, man. But I did think that if Xander was maybe one good punch off from really at least knocking Boots down. You know what I'm saying? And I think if he would have knocked Boots down, I don't know how Boots' mentality would have took that. But he was so damn focused last night, and he was in such great condition that he was able to bounce back quickly. You know, he says, "What up, Pool?" He says, "Great fight last night." He says, "Boots proved that he is the man to beat at 154." He said, "No one has the whole package like Boots." He said, "He showed his power, carried up to 154. They scared now." Hey, Boots definitely made a statement. I don't know how Fundora is looking at this. I don't know how Josh Kelly is looking at this, but Boots has really shot, you know what I'm saying, his shot across the bow, across 154, to let him know that, you know what I'm saying, he has arrived, bro, that I'm that dude. And then he got 2 of the biggest belts to boot. You know, he's got the WBA and he's got the WBO. So he's unified. So that gives him a lot of power where they can't get around him. They can't get around him. You know what I'm saying? They could try if they want to, but he is still a unified champion. So he's gonna have to like really carry himself like the unified champion, you know, because that means he's gonna have a couple of mandatories on his ass. You know what I'm saying? This is Lee Max is 100% pure facts, but Fundora is the biggest threat. He is the biggest threat. I don't think anybody doubts that. Fundora is he's a puzzle, man. The dude is what, 3, 6, 6, 4, 6, 6, 6, 6'5", somewhere up in there, 6'5". He's 6'5", bro. The man reach is crazy. He got the reach of a heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then he's good with the jab. You know what I'm saying? You saw what he did to Tim Zoo. You know what I'm saying? He's out here, man. He's every time I see that guy fight, he just gets better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. A lot of my partners, they don't think nobody can beat Fundora at 154. You know what I'm saying? And look, he looks natural for that. I mean, I think he's naturally skinny. He's naturally, you know what I'm saying, for that weight class, it don't seem like it's hurting him none. And then he got a sister that's be dominating women boxing. It's like, what the hell is going? They made two of them. God made two of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You got two goddamn fedoras to deal with. It's like you got one on the woman's side, this shit with all that reach and shit. Then you got one on the man's side. This shit is crazy, man. But yes, Fundora is the threat. Fundora is who the man that's gonna give Boots his biggest test, man. I mean, if he beats Fundora, he's going down. He's going down. You might as well sign him up for the Hall of Fame. If he beats Fundora, but you need opponents like Fundora. If you don't have a Fedora in your life as a fighter, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a weak division. You got to have the Fedoras. You got to have the Xander Zayas. You know what I'm saying? You got to have tough competition. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through something. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be a champion. And then if Boots can beat Fedora and become undisputed, he's definitely going into the Hall of Fame. And see, his career is kind of looking like Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Where he had a lot of dead fights early in his career, and later on, around 37 fights, he's starting to, really heat up his career, starting to heat up. He's starting to get the opportunities. He's starting to unify belts. He's starting to fight the top competition. His career kind of looking, it mirrors Crawford, tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? And people are like really beginning to see that Jaron Boots Ennis is one of them ones, bro. I was so impressed last night. Man, I couldn't sleep, bro. I was thinking about this shit. I was like, man, I couldn't even get up. I said we was gonna get up at 8. I couldn't even get up at 8. Man, I closed my eyes and it was 11 o'clock. I'm just telling you, you know. He says Fundora is a weight bully. You know what I'm saying? Well, don't you think Xander Zayas was a weight bully? I mean, he was 180 pounds up in there, right? So that's what fighters do. You know what I'm saying? If there's no rehydration clause and stuff like that, they're gonna blow up as much as they can. But just like Zayas, if you blow up too much, it can come back to haunt you. That means you're not gonna, last long in the fight. It depends on, what your nutritionist, say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to gain too much weight where it makes you slow, like Zayas was in this fight. You know what I'm saying? The extra weight can help you, but it also can hinder you. You know what I'm saying? So he says, should Boot let Kelly and Fundora unify with the winner, so he's not doing all the heavy lifting to go through the gauntlet? That's a good, smart, intelligent way to go about it. I think that's the way Bud Crawford would have went about it. I don't think he would go to each champion and wear himself out. But you don't want to, wear yourself out. You know what I'm saying? Before you, I think he needs to be as fresh as possible when he fights Fundora. But I think, I don't want him to be inactive for like 6 months or a year before he fights Fundora. I want him to have that edge. I want him to have that active that active energy, you know what I'm saying, and awareness, you know what I'm saying, that comes from being active, you know what I'm saying. So I don't want him coming off a layoff, you know what I'm saying, coming off a 6 month, 7 month layoff, you know what I'm saying, before he fights Fundora. I want him to be tip top sharp, you know what I'm saying, because he's gonna need it, because Fundora is a very offensive fighter. And yes, is he a weight bully? You know what I'm saying? But he's able to make the weight. So what can you say? You know what I'm saying? He's able to make the weight, you know? He says, Boots do spar people like Fundora in his camp, and said he is stopping heavyweight. He said, I heard YSM sports talk about it. Yeah, that's YM. That's YSM. That's where I first seen YSM up in Boots Gym. So that's his spot right there. Um, if anybody could tell you about how Boots get down, is him. I've used some of his material before. Hell, I've had YSM on my channel. So I mean, he's just a insider, you know what I'm saying? Total insight. And yes, he does know that Boots Camp inside and out, and he watch him spar and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's some claim to fame, even though he's a hell of a YouTuber and journalist or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I watch YSM material too. Hell, I've debated him. Shit, I've talked to him on panels and stuff. So, what I'm saying, yeah, I love YSM. He got a very unique perspective on boxing. What I'm saying, not bad. It's just that just a boxing insider look at these fights and stuff. YSM is hell on that shit. I think he just gets up and watch boxing from the beginning of the day to the end. But man, Boots has really shown who he is. He's shown, the grits. He's shown the determination. He showed that, what I'm saying, he can hold his own at 154. Um, I was wondering when he got hit. I said, man, that 154. Xander was serious when he said, you know, what kind of power that stands at 154. And Xander ain't even the hardest hitting 154 pounder. And so, it was just interesting to see how Boots would react if he got clocked. He got Falumalooms like that. And I was impressed. You know, I was impressed how he was able to recover and what he did once he did get Falumaloom. That told me a lot about Boots right there. So man, I mean, bro, I was standing on top of my goddamn seat. He says, "Yes, sir." That it, man, is so important to acclimate to these weight classes. You know what I'm saying? Now, some fighters do have the ability. Some fighters have the ability to, like Boots, to withstand the storm and go straight to a division and kick ass. You know what I'm saying? But those fighters, they know how to take a punch. They just got those are like gifts from God. That's nothing you can like really train for. You know what I'm saying? Either you got a chin or you don't. Either you God gave you the ability to recuperate. Now, I mean, you can work out and you can stay in the gym and stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's going to help you recover. But how you take that damn punch, I'm saying? It's like up to you. You know what I'm saying? What you got inside, it's the dog inside you. If you could take that punch, you know what I'm saying? And I was impressed by he stood in the pocket and he looked fucked up. I mean, even though he kept a straight face, he kept a poised face, but he was fucked up. Xander was kind of wincing. Every time he took a body shot, he was wincing. I mean, you could see his face scrunch up. I was like, damn. I said, Boost must be can really hit because fighters are trained to keep your face straight. You know what I'm saying? Once you take a shot, man, but he was wincing last night. So you already knew that them shots were hurting him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, man. And Boots he was laser, he was surgical with them damn shots to the body. And he caught on early that they was disturbing him. You know, he says, he says, oh, let me see. I think. Let me see. He says Blue Blood Sports TV calls Boots the Phenom every time his name is mentioned. Yeah, he been calling him that since day one. I mean, if you've been watching Blue Blood used to go to the gym and stuff like that and talk to Boots. And I think Boots he even interviewed Boots like way back before he even won his first championship. He was covering Boots and he used to call him the Phenom back then. So he always called him the Phenom. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing new. You know, that's just what it was. So, man, when I tell you this was some classic boxing, Boots, what I'm saying, when he knocked him down and he took a knee, Xander actually quit. He actually quit. I did not expect that from Xander Zayas. You know what I'm saying? I did not expect him to get knocked down in the first round. And you know what I'm saying? You saw the surprise on Xander Zayas' face. I mean, bro, he looked like he didn't know what the hell happened. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, man. I mean, he had to get up. He had to get up It was crazy, bro. I mean, he just looked like, damn, he had to compose himself, But Xander brought some fight to Boots, man. He really dug in and he really tried to get Boots' ass up out of there. But he fell short, man. He fell short. Hold on. He fell short. Look at Xander right here in this picture. Saying Xander was focused, man. He was really, really focused, but and right here shows you, he catching them on the chin and everything. It's like, bro, Boots tough. He's forward tough, bro. I'm talking about that was a hell of a fight, bro. That was just, man, that shocked the shit out of me. For them to fight that hard, for them to go in like that, bro. It was amazing, magnificent. And I did want to go over the post-fight interview though. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the post-fight to see what Boots was saying. And hold on, y'all just bear with me for a second here. Let me see if I can get the post-fight interview. Jaron Boots Ennis. Hold on. Because Boots, he was, it was very classy at the end, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me see if I can get this okay, I'm gonna have to type it in. Xander Zayas post-fight. Okay, let's see. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this up so we can see it. All right, let me put all this other stuff down. Okay. I don't know why. Okay. So, okay. So, bear with me for a second. Let's see. Okay, this is fair use under fair use. This is his post-fight interview. You know what I'm saying? After the fight. All right. Where's the sound? Okay, this is under fair use. Fair use. All right.
Microphone.
Boots,
To the new champ.
congratulations. What was going through your mind in the third round?
Huh?
What was going through your mind in the third round?
I was chilling, cool, calm, collected.
Nothing. Gotcha. Do you still want to be undisputed? Is the goal?
Most definitely, undisputed for sure.
Boots. Oh, wait.
Hold on, Mike, wait to the mic, yeah.
Hey, Boots, Radio Raheem down in the front. Did I hear you correctly? Because sometimes I can't hear it in the arena. Did you say that you weren't hurt in the third round?
No, I was chilling.
That's a goddamn lie. That's a goddamn lie right there. I love you, Boots, friend, bro. Let me tell you something. That's a goddamn lie. Boots were hurt, bro. Boots were hurt. Don't believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all see that? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Can y'all see that? Let me see. Yeah, he was hurt, man.
I just a little lazy on the inside. Got quoted a good shot, but I was cool. Yeah.
Did you feel like that third round was the toughest round of your fight career thus far?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm cool, calm, and collected. You know, when it's madness going on, I just get calm. You know, and just be patient.
I mean, I ask you these questions because, granted, you know, you stopped him in the 7th.
Oh man, I don't know what. Hold on, I got to get it back. My bag. I was trying to put it to the side. Let's see. Damn, how did I lose? Yeah, I'm getting old. Goddamn it, can't goddamn handle this technology. Hold on, let me get it back, y'all.
Here he is, new unified world champion, Jaron Boots.
Be champion again.
Is Fedora a name that might be on your mind?
Bring them on.
Thank you.
This is Chris Murray from the Philadelphia Sunday Sun. I gotta ask you a question. With all the crowd booing you and all, did you actually draw some energy from that? Did that make you want to get out there and take him on even more?
I loved it. You know, I love the booing. You know, as I was playing into it. You know, with the going like that. But yeah, I love it. It turned me up even more.
David Lancher, Sports Talk Philadelphia. Jaron, so first off, how's it feel to be the champion and in another weight class? And what does it mean to bring the belts back home to Philadelphia? And how do you feel about defending those belts in front of the home fans back in Philly?
I feel great. I feel tremendous, to be able to – it's my second weight class, unified, and like I said, this run right here is called the Legacy Tour for me. I'm here to take over this division and be the face of boxing,
See okay. Now boxing fans gonna hold him to that. You know what I'm saying? You're not just gonna come up here and say that you want to take over the division. You know what I'm saying? He didn't use the word undisputed, but if you're gonna take over the division, that means you're going to be undisputed. That means he's coming straight from Fedora. Let everybody know that bring on Fedora. So when it comes time to make the fight, it shouldn't be no problems. It shouldn't be no problems, right? So he's going to take a lot of criticism if he don't take that fight directly if he's challenged, which we know that Fedora will challenge him. So, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to hear no excuses. You know what I'm saying? If Fedora, I don't think Boots will. I don't think he's that kind of fighter, but we're going to be looking out for it.
Boots in the middle, sorry. Sorry.
Bozy, Boots said that he was chilling in the third round. What was your perspective from what you saw from the corner?
He was chilling. I had to put on him.
I come back to the corner. He like, yo, man. Yo, man, stop playing. I'm like,
He like to have fun though. I'm gonna calm me down sometimes.
He got a little lazy a little bit.
Get a little lazy. He laid back sometime, and you know what I mean.
Cause it be so like
it'd
easy.
be easy.
Yeah.
You see, like he love to fight, man. He can box. You see, first round, how many jabs that boy got hit with? You know what I mean? He didn't throw the right hand behind it, and then throw the left hook behind it. Just kept on jabbing. He like to play. He like to have fun. I always tell him to have fun doing it though. But get him out of here though.
What was your level of concern while that was happening in the third
I
round?
wasn't worried about nothing that Xander had when it comes to Boots. I wasn't worried about nothing at all. When he fights, I don't worry, man. I don't worry at all.
So the dad, your dad gonna always have your back, but he's right. I mean, in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? Not I ain't talking about the Falumaloom part, because I was worried doing that. When he got Falumaloom, I was worried about that. What I'm talking about is, you know what I'm saying, we knew that Boots could outbox Xander. You know what I'm saying? We saw that the skill level was different. We saw that the skill level was wide. And, you know what I'm saying, I knew that Xander would be putting some hands on, because he's a skilled boxer. You know what I'm saying? Xander is not, he's not trash. You know what I'm saying? So he was going to be able to hit Boots. And Boots is not like, he is not that elusive. He could be elusive. He could be more elusive if he concentrated on it. But he don't fight like that. So, his dad, like his dad say, say, hey boy, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Stop all the throwing the jab and then putting the hand up in the air and just I think it's the focus that Jaron, I think, because I've heard Spence talk about this about being bored in the ring and not wanting to box. I think boxing is boring to a lot of fighters, you know what I'm saying? They just want to get after a couple of rounds, they want to get them guys up out of there. And then once we seen Boots like really kind of like focus, we saw him really concentrate on trying to get Xander ass up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because Xander was getting, he was starting to break down. He says, Donald said if Boot doesn't tighten up his defense and stop relying on his reflexes, said he will get knocked out. He's a hell of a fighter, but relies too much on athleticism and stuff. He says, and the fact that is not realistic with himself and think he's untouchable will be his downfall. But I'll continue to enjoy what he brings until his run comes up and in. He's just getting the notoriety. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna focus on the negative side and saying until it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand what you're saying, Donald. You know what I'm saying? And I know that he's not like he's just not the super elusive guy, you know what I'm saying? He wants to put on a show. And I understand all that, but I'm not going to be the one to doom and gloom him, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the way he fights, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it's like a mentality thing where he's just gonna always get hit clean like this, or does he even have the ability to tighten up his defense? You know what I'm saying? Because you remember like Amir Khan, like look at his hand speed, look at his reflexes and stuff. He was able to go out there and dominate people, but he always had that lapse in concentration, you know what I'm saying? And he always got knocked out, even though I believe Amir Khan was better than a lot of fighters. It's just that he had that lapse in concentration, and you saw Danny Garcia knock his ass out. So it's certain, every fighter's got weaknesses. It's like playing a video game, and you could play like all of the top tier fighters, but all of them got a weakness. And if you know that weakness, how to take advantage of that weakness, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna probably, win, right? So, every fighter got flaws, you know what I'm saying? And but not everybody can execute on those flaws, It's boxing is rock, paper, scissors, right? You know what I'm saying? So you're right, you know what I'm saying? We've seen consistently that, he gets hit, he stays in front of his opponents too long, and but who can execute on that? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take who's gonna be able to be the fighter that's able to take advantage of his flaws, But I'm glad he got flaws because I don't want to see an ultimate boxer that has no flaws. You know what I mean? It's like, we're tired of that. I think it endears you to the boxing fans to see you overcome adversity. You know what I'm saying? Says tell him to say Fundora's name. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think they're on a collision course, Donald. I think there's no way to avoid it. It's either going to be his next fight or the fight after that he got to fight Fundora. And Fundora is going to push the envelope. Fundora is going to come after him. You know what I'm saying? So he really is not going to have anywhere to go having two belts. You know what I'm saying? He's already made himself a target for Fundora. He says, Pool, there will be problems because Eddie would be on that boot. Yeah, with making the fight. He says that's why I mentioned that earlier. I said if he come out here and Fundora challenge him, it's going to be a hit on his reputation. He says none of them want to face Fundora, and I don't blame them. Make Fundora move. I want to see the fight though. I don't want him to move out because people scared of him. You know what I'm saying? I want to see all of them take it, win or lose. I want to see him face Fundora because that shows the courage. So that's that predator shit. Like predators. Even though the goddamn queen is goddamn 20 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? You still go out there and fight that motherfucker. That's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You still take your ass out there and show that courage, and you go out there and you beat that queen, what they call them, Zoromuffs, you know what I'm saying, on the Predator and shit. You got to show that you're a warrior, Yeah, and if you get beat, you get beat. Keith Thurman went out there and got his ass whipped. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just a fight, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to be unified champion, you got to be the big dog. You know what I'm saying? He just got one belt. So, you know, unless he go over and unify with Josh Kelly, he the man. You know, you the man, Boots. You fought for you. Heavy is the head to wear the crown. So, you know, you wearing the crown. You want to be the man. You're gonna have to push it. You know what I'm saying? And a matter of fact, like you said, Donald, you call out that man name. Stop being passive, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know, now that you done made the spotlight, now that you done what you had to do, make the fight. Call out Fundora. And that would have added to his legend. You know what I'm saying? Call out Fundora, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stop being passive and shit. You know? I think that would have helped his case. He says, you know what, fool? He says, business-wise, Boots will increase revenue, stop fighting Ortiz now. He says, then the winner of the other two champions for Undisputed. Yeah, he's in a great position because he's got good competition. And see, this is the thing that's going on at 140. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? You got to fight good competition. You got to fight an opponent that people believe that can beat you, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't talking about boxing aficionados. Yeah, also legacy. You know, I'm not talking about a boxer because they look at every little thing. They break down these fights and, you know, they see, you know, all the flaws and they see, you know, they can make good matchups. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about to the, you know, casual fans really push boxing, you know what I'm saying? Because they buy the fights, you know what I'm saying, droves and stuff. So, you know, they got to market an opponent to that people believe that, you know what I'm saying, it's going to beat you. You know what I'm saying? And right now, Boots is in a good space because a lot of people believe Virgil Ortiz can beat Boots. Not boxing aficionados, but the boxing public. You know what I'm saying? That's going to buy the ticket in Dallas. People, Fort Worth, where Virgil Ortiz from, they're going to buy that ticket because they think Virgil Ortiz is a super badass, right? And he can beat, you know, he's the next thing to Earl Spence Jr., but just in a Mexican package. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that fight is going to produce a lot of money, a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the South, in the Dallas area, if they have it in the AT&T Stadium, that shit is going to blow the roof off. He says Ortiz don't deserve that title shot. He has been taking a step back from how he was, you know what I'm saying, earlier last year. And he has gotten knocked down 3 times. So I don't know what's going on with Virgil Ortiz. Errol Spence Jr. said he remember when he was crying when he lost in the amateurs and stuff. You know, I thought that was funny that Errol mentioned that shit. That shit was too funny. You know what I'm saying? But I think Virgil Ortiz, I don't know what he's going through right now, but at one point he looked like he was on a mission. And when he ran into that boot smoke, and when he started running into competition smoke, now it looked like he's slowing all the way down. I don't know exactly what's going on between him and Golden and Oscar De La Hoya over there. It's looking kind of ugly. But he says get into the script says as long as Boots can take a punch, his style is unbeatable, and he can definitely take a punch. You know, right now there's nobody at 154 cracking like that. You know what I'm saying? Who got that kind of crack? But let's get back into it.
You know, they can hear me, brother.
You know what? I mean, I really like what's his daddy name? Boots dad. I like him, man. You know, he always says something good. You know what I'm saying? When he always says something really good and insightful. It don't be like super deep with the words, but what he say is always on point. You know what I'm saying? He be saying what a lot of boxing aficionados be thinking. And you know what I'm saying? Yes, it's his son. He's going to advocate for his son, but he knows what he's talking about. And he's a hell of a trainer. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he can control that playful side of Boots, because even Boots say he don't listen to his father a lot. Even though he don't, you know, he ignores some of what his dad say, and he goes out there and do what the hell he want to do, which is going to end up, you know, hurting him in the long run. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, right now they got a good dynamic going.
Boots and Bozy over here.
That's right. That's right.
So for the fight, you came into a hostile territory. It was probably like one of the only times that you've been booed. You've been You've been on the opposite side.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't think they really was booing that.
No, you know what I hear is boo.
No. Nah, I get it. No, but from our vantage point, they definitely did. But from our vantage point, there were a lot of Puerto Ricans in the crowd. You know, they were backing Xander.
I love Puerto Ricans though. They all stick together.
Oh yeah, for sure. But y'all. But my question was, do you guys feel like you won?
I'm talking like I'm supposed to talk.
Do you guys feel like you won over the crowd? And Boots, can you give yourself a grade on tonight's fight? And just in the third part, Virgil came out and said that he was going to sleep you. So I just want to know your comments on those.
Why he ain't take the fight in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Bro, I ain't be talking, bro.
Well, it looked like they're gonna try to build up that Virgil Ortiz fight. You know what I'm saying? That might be his next fight. I mean, Virgil Ortiz, you know what I'm saying, look like he's interested again because, you know, he's been on the sideline. And since Boots has become unified and he hasn't done shit at the 154 division, he might be feeling some kind of way about that. So I think he wants to. I think he wants his spot. I think he wants to get Jaron Boots Ennis before he takes that Fundora fight, because I don't see Virgil Ortiz trying to fight Fundora his damn self. You know what I'm saying? I think I think he want to take on Jaron Boots Ennis, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, during that third round, he did pop it out there, you know what I'm saying? I think he put it on X that, you know what I'm saying, that he wanted that smoke, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't think Jaron Boots Ennis cares about it. I don't think he sees Virgil Ortiz as a threat, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to tell you, I'm really different. He gonna see firsthand, cause he gets hurt a lot. He flat-footed, and he been dropped multiple times. When he get hit by me, it's gonna be different. I'm trying to tell y'all.
What would you grade your performance?
My performance today, I gotta go back and watch it. I'll probably give myself like a C though. I know I'm way better than that, you know. And like a C plus, you know. I'm way better than that, you know.
So, you know, I don't know, maybe because of the excitement of the fight, you know what I'm saying? I gave him an A because he was tested and we never seen him tested. He got Falumalooms. He was able to persevere through that. And I think that through that excitement of seeing that aspect of what Boots can do, you know what I'm saying, I kind of overrated the fight as far as the skill set goes. But because I think he answered a lot of questions for boxing fans, because, you know, a lot of what we do is move the goalposts. Once we see, you know, a fighter, you know what I'm saying, overcome something, a fighter that's supposed to be an all-time great or generational fighter, we'll move the goalposts on him, you know what I'm saying, because he didn't answer all the questions, he just answered some of the questions, right? You know what I'm saying? Can he get hit by a 154 pounder, and go through adversity and hold his ground? He did that. We showed that he had heart, showed that he had grit and determination. But then we'll move the goalposts and say, you know, okay, well, he got hit too much. You know what I'm saying? He don't have any punch resistance. We'll move the goalposts in those aspects. But I understand from a boxing aficionado point of view what they're getting at. But you got to look at Jaron Boots Ennis. This is the best opponent that he's ever faced. And this is, you know, saying how he was able to take control. Was he able to take control? Yes. Was he able to make the adjustments? Yes. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at what he was able to do well as well as what he was doing bad. You see what I'm saying? You got to look at both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on the opponent too. You know, the same results is not going to happen for all fighters. You know, he may go in there and actually do a boxing expedition on Fundora. He may do that. You know what I'm saying? He may be forced to do that. That might be the adjustment that he needs to make. You see what I'm saying? So I think a lot of these fighters, they got to be forced into situations to fight the way they're going to fight. And Boots he seemed like he's one of those kind of fighters that, you know, that make adjustments according to the fighter that he gets in there. He kind of got his set of skills. He got his athletic ability. And, you know what I'm saying, he's hitting that age where his athletic ability, not now, but maybe 3 years from now, where his athletic ability is going to start slipping a little bit. You know, sometimes it happens earlier, sometimes it happens later. But since he stays in such tremendous condition, he don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't do none of those things. He is one of them fighters that probably may get extended a little bit longer. His athletic ability might stay with him a little, his superpowers might stay with him just a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Because he stays in such good shape and because he stays in the gym. You know, y'all get what I'm saying? So but let's look at both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? Like not just the side where Jaron Boots Ennis, you know what I'm saying, all his flaws and stuff is going to play into everybody's hands because not every fighter is able to execute on those weaknesses. You see what I'm saying? So let's get back into it.
I was listening to the corner a little bit, not too much. They was telling me to do speed, and I was one shot popping. It's the shots you don't see. I should have been using a little bit more speed, but everything is gonna be good. We're gonna go back to the the lab and get ready.
Jaron Boots Ennis is not the most articulate dude. He don't like to, he don't like to really get into the nuts and bolts of things. He just kind of like to gloss over things, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I think if he really took his time, he could give you, but I think EJ, he takes way too much time. He takes too long to get to the point. But Jaron Boots Ennis, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have John in there, if you can't say John, you know what I'm saying, he lost. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me somebody just came in. Hold on for a second. Okay. JB in the build. What's going on, JB?
What's going on?
What's happening?
Oh, ain't too much, man. What's going on, Poor Counter?
Oh, nothing, man. I'm just trying to wrap up from what we saw, like the hell of a fight that we saw last night, bro. A fucking classic. That's what I'm talking about.
One of the fights he'll go back and watch again and stuff like this. Some of these fights, man, like even when Shakur beat Teofimo Lopez, man, I ain't went back and watched that fight now time, man. It was a virtuoso performance by Shakur, but it's nothing that you be like, yeah, man, let me go back and watch that fight. This fight here, you can go back and watch it numerous times. It was that exciting. And that's what separates Boots for a lot of the top tier fighters. He's not only, in my opinion, a top 10 pound for pound fighter now, but he's one of the more exciting fighters, along with a David Benavidez, Inoue, Bam Rodriguez. Those guys are very exciting. Even Javante Tank Davis, those guys are exciting to watch because they produce knockouts. A lot of guys are great boxers. Take nothing away from guys like Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Those guys are great fighters, great pure boxers. But it's something about when you go into a fight, you know it's going to be exciting. It's a high probability of a knockout, and that's what Boots Ennis brings to the table, man. That's what separates him from a lot of other top tier fighters in boxing today.
Did you think he was going to get knocked out in that third round when you saw him get his head get knocked back on the ropes?
Yeah, he got hurt in that third round. Yeah, I was like, that's some of the things that some of his naysayers were saying. Man, he's so aggressive and he gets hit a lot. Maybe it might come back to haunt him when he fight a top tier opponent. But he was able to weather that storm and he came back. And it was a strong fourth round by both fighters. Fought good in that fourth round, but I thought Boots Ennis edged the fourth round out. And then the fifth round, that's when the beginning of the end was taking place. He was able to knock him down, and that fight possibly could have been stopped in the fifth round. The sixth and seventh round was just one-way traffic domination by Boots Ennis before he dropped him, 3 times in the seventh round. He was able to get the knockout. I predicted an 8th round knockout myself. It was around 1 round earlier. It was just a dominated performance, man. Like I said, going into this fight, man, I just thought Boots was better in every category. Outside of Zayas being a naturally bigger guy, people were saying that, Zayas got a good jab. I was like, Boots' jab is better. And you saw that in the first round. He was able to establish himself early on in that fight off the jab. And he's just more of a twitchier fighter, more power. He throws combinations better. He places those combinations better. He can throw them from different positions in the ring that other fighters can't. You see when he threw that uppercut, man, he went forward, then he went backwards and threw the uppercut and hurt Zayas. What other fighter you see doing that with momentum, with not having momentum? You're going backwards, you don't have your momentum. And he was able to hurt him with an uppercut. So that guy's just a special fighter.
JB.
Yeah.
When he got hit and then he gave him he stayed in the pocket and gave him an uppercut. I was like, this shit is real. This is Sparta, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bro, Boots got hit so fucking hard one time, and the body language that he had, it looked like he kind of faded off the screen. I said, man, is he going down? I was like, he got hit and it stilled him. And I was like, because I don't know if you remember, he hit him and it's like he faded off to the side. I was like, is he going down? I was like, my God, bro. I mean, but he was still there. I was like, wait a minute. It's the way they shot it, and they were shooting it from like an up angle, in the backside of Boots, and he was turned like, with his left hand. You know what I'm saying? He was orthodox, but he was turned back and he got hit and he just faded off the screen. I said, he's going down. I was like, oh my God, man. You know what I'm saying? And he stood up. And I was like, man, this shit is so good, bro. And then to me, I thought that he was going to at least get knocked down, and during that round. But Zayas, the problem is that Zayas is not a brawler. He's not an inside fighter. He's not a brawler. So like Donald was saying, he's just big, man. He's just big. He's a technical fighter. And on the inside, he don't have the instincts, to exchange like that, because he's always looking for the counter. He's always waiting for his turn. But if he was a brawler and he was more offensive minded and an inside fighter, I think he would have got Boots, man, during that time. But because he's so cautious, and because he had that extra weight on him that he couldn't deal with, that extra weight and them punches from Boots was weighing him down, bro. Weighing him down. You know what I'm saying? And he just couldn't put the damage on Boots that he really needed to get Boots up out of there. He says Xander ain't a power puncher. No. He said he's just big. He says Ortiz or Fundora touched his chin. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? Fundora ain't no power puncher either. You know what I'm saying? He just throws. He's a volume puncher.
Yeah, he's an accumulation puncher.
He's not a power puncher either.
Yeah, he's an accumulation puncher.
Yeah.
That'd be a hell of a fight, Boots and Fundora. That'll be a 50-50 fight, him against Fundora. Because both of them guys throw a lot of punches. Both of those guys are very, very active. It seems to me that Boots' chin is probably better than Fundora. That might be the difference in the fight, but it's a toss-up type of fight, man. Due to Fundora being as tall as he is, and he's fighting tall now. He has a great jab, just like Boots has a great jab, and he throws a good uppercut, just like Boots throws a good uppercut. So with his being so tall and just being a different type of fighter due to his height and length, it'll be a difficult fight for Boots, man. But it'll be a good fight. It'll be a fire fight. It could be Hagler Hearns. That could be Hagler Hearns right there. Boots versus Fundora. That could be Hagler Hearns. So I would be looking for. That's the best fight ever.
But would you say that Boots is the underdog in that Fundora fight? Would you say Boots is the underdog? You know what I'm saying, in that fight?
It's gonna be some close odds for that fight. It's gonna be close odds for that fight. It's gonna be one of them fights where it's gonna be somebody might be a negative 110, the other one might be a plus 115. It might be something like that. It's gonna be a close. It's gonna be it ain't gonna be what's the closest odds you can have? 8-5 or something like that. It might be something like that. I would imagine that Boots probably be a slight favorite, but a slight favorite. I think Boots probably would be a slight favorite. Maybe, like I said, minus 110 and Fundora be 115. That's basically 50-50, really. That's basically 50-50 when you get them type of odds. So, but I would imagine Boots be a slight favorite.
I can see that. I can see that. He said, but a lot of people want to see him fight Virgil Ortiz. I don't know about one, but I know that is a money fight for Jaron Boots Ennis, because there's a lot of build up. People believe that Virgil Ortiz got that power. He's, that he can equal Boots' power for power, but they're not thinking about Boots' other skills, skill set that's gonna nullify everything that Virgil Ortiz brings. All that intensity, all that toughness that Virgil Ortiz exude in the boxing ring. I believe that that's gonna be really difficult. For people, because then they're gonna say he's ducking Fundora. They're gonna say he's ducking. If he takes that Virgil Ortiz fight, which is not a problem for me, because I know what it is. That is not a guaranteed win for Jaron Boots Ennis. So that's going to be another tough fight. But I think Boots is too smart. I think his boxing IQ is higher than Virgil Ortiz. And I think Virgil Ortiz got a lot of. He's easily hit. He's easily outmaneuvered by slick fighters. It's a fight though. It's a fan friendly fight that people are calling for. And I think that's what people really want to see, especially down here in Dallas and Fort Worth. That damn fight is going to be off the goddamn roof if Boots willing to take that fight. But I think Virgil Ortiz, even though he says he wants to fight Jaron, if Errol Spence Jr. win that fight in an oppressive fashion versus Tim Tszyu, I think he's going to try to turn toward that fight. Because that's a fight that's going to be Hollywood in Dallas. That's going to be a Hollywood. That's going to be a fucking ridiculous Super Bowl fight, if EJ and Virgil Ortiz fight, at the AT&T Stadium at Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's probably going to want to go that route. I don't think he's going to really fuck with Boots because Boots right now is on top of his shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when a fighter got this kind of momentum, he's got that glow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But let's see what Virgil do because he be going back and forth with this shit. He says Ortiz may not get him out of there. He says because he needs Boots to be there in a 50-50 to knock him out. He says, but I think Boots will fight him the same way he fought Villa. Yeah, and that fight with Villa was hell. You know what I'm saying, Don? That fight with him was hell. He said, but with Fundora, no matter how much he moves, he said Fundora would touch him because of his length, and that's true. His dimensions are stupid. He got stupid dimensions, like
Yep.
JB said. The reach and the jab is stupid. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We saw what we put on Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman wheels ain't the same. Now, if Keith Thurman had them wheels the same, it would have been a better fight. But he old now. And he don't, you know what I'm saying? He can't move like Jaron. Jaron still is just 29 years old. So he can still go in there and run around that ring, you know what I'm saying, and move out the way. You know what I'm saying? Even though Fundora, you know, you could take steam off the punches, you can roll with the punches, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things you can do to take, you know what I'm saying, away from that power and away from that away from them volume punches. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Boots is not the one to just stand there, you know what I'm saying, to get beat up, you know what I'm saying, if he's not trying to take you out. He says, he said, but with Fundora, don't matter how much he moves, he would take. Okay, I read that.
Yeah, you know, with
Doctor says,
Fedora's promoter, Samson Lickowitz, I think he was on he did an interview probably about a month ago. He said Fedora's probably coming back in August or September. I don't know. I ain't really heard nothing on him, who he fighting. You know, I heard, huh? I heard maybe
I
Jamel
think you heard
Charlo
his
mentioned as
hand.
a possible opponent. Oh, you heard his hand again? Oh, you heard it again? I know you heard it before the
No,
Keith Thurman fight.
no, that was before. I think that was before. Yeah, I think he had came off an injury or something like that, and
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
came and beat up. Yeah,
Beat up Thurman. But they say
yeah, my
it's
bad.
Samson Lickowitz say he's supposed to come back in August, September. You know, like I said, Jamel Charlo could be an opponent because he's actually still a lineal champion at 154. He ain't been beat at 154, so it's something to be said fighting him and beating him and then getting that lineal title off of him. So that could be maybe a next opponent. As far as Ortiz go, Ortiz got a real good jab. A lot of people don't talk about that. He's a guy that, you know, has got a lot of will. His will outweighs his skill. He's not like he don't have no skill, but he gets hit a little bit too much. Just like Boots said in the press conference, he gets touched up a little bit too much. He will have a chance because of the power. I think he has more power than Zayas has. It'll be a good fight, but he's kind of straight up and down, no special effects, man. I don't think a fighter like that could beat Boots with his repertoire. I think he systematically breaks him down, stops him probably somewhere around the same time he stopped Zayas. Yeah.
Well, what it is, Boots like to fight and Ortiz like to fight. You know, he's a good inside fighter too. You know what I'm saying? His instincts is to fight on the inside. So that going mano inside with Virgil Ortiz, man, that's interesting if he was to take that approach. I don't think he would take that approach with Virgil Ortiz because that's what Virgil Ortiz would want, to go to the inside and bang it out. You know what I'm saying? He's a crash out, bang out type fighter. You saw Aegis Kavalauskas Falumaloom him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he falls into the trap. He falls into traps and stuff, you know, very easily. That's because Boots want to go through you. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to go around you. You know what I'm saying? He want to go through you. And it depends on, he have to be smart and box Virgil Ortiz, break him down and finish him. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be one of them fights where they just go. Now, if he decides to take on Ortiz head to head, we're going to have another classic. We're gonna have another goddamn classic. It's gonna be, but he's not, that inside battle with Virgil Ortiz is gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a goddamn problem. Because let me tell you something, Virgil Ortiz body shots is hellacious. Them body shots that boy be throwing is hellacious, bro. And you can hear that shit from across the ring, man. When he hits you to the body, he got a stiff body shot, a lightning stiff body shot, bro. So, you know, Boots, you know, he might want to stay out the inside fighting Virgil Ortiz, but I think he already knows that. I think his team, Bozy and all them guys, they already see that. So they already know what they're looking at when they see Virgil Ortiz. You know, and Virgil Ortiz might not be as fast, you know, saying against Boots. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he looks fast compared to the fighters that he fight. But he may not, he may look slow when it comes to fighting Jaron Boots Ennis, somebody with those kind of reflexes, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you just never know. He said, so to the cameraman that filmed this fight, No,
sad.
says, but Fundora throws shots you can't see either because of his length. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When he blinds you, when he blinds you with those jabs, he throws so many jabs to blind you, and then he has that left hand cocked back. You know what I'm saying? But see, you know what I'm saying, when you stay active, you know what I'm saying, you know that punch is coming. You know what I'm saying? But it's a rhythm because of his length, when that shit is coming, when that shit's gonna get there, when it's gonna land. You know what I'm saying? Keith couldn't figure that shit out. He was just so damn overwhelmed. It didn't matter. He just wanted them to stop hitting him. You know what I'm saying? That shit was terrible. He said, that's why I feel Fundora can crack his chin. Well, we eventually we're gonna see.
That's the
Because
best
that's
fight
one
at
fight he cannot
154.
duck.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best fight at
Yeah, that's
154 in my opinion. Yeah. So
yeah,
you
that's
know,
one of them fights.
yeah.
That's one of them fights that, you know, the unified champion, if you're a unified champion and he's a champion, you cannot duck that fight because that's going to tear down everything that you build up yourself to be. You know, just like Shakur Stevenson ducking fights and shit left and right. Now we know you ain't that dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? We can't look at you the same. You know, he said, "What up, Pool?" He said, "Got a got a got a good night of boxing, no ducking." That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just,
The whole
yeah,
card was fire. It
but
was a good
wait,
card from top to bottom.
I ain't like the card, bro. You know what I'm
You
saying?
didn't like
I
the
did
card?
like that. I ain't like the card. I don't like that Ben Whitaker dude, man. That dude is a joke, bro. You know, he can fight though. I've seen him in the Olympics. I followed him in the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? He's a decent fighter when he's serious, bro. I don't like the Popeye outfit. I don't like none of that shit. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah,
Get
that
in
boy
there and
was
get, you know what I'm saying?
outclassed.
Man, come on, bro. It's like
Yeah.
Shaker says, yeah, Boots is way too flashy and has to stop taking so many chances, leave himself open, gonna cost him if he continues that shit. He says, especially if to fight one of these dirty motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it eventually, like Donald says, it's gonna come back to haunt him, and he got a lot of technical things he need to tighten up on, you know, as far as the boxing goes, but he did what he had to do, you know what I'm saying? Staying in range. He knew he had faster hands. He knew that he knew he had something when he was going to the body, and he stayed with it to get him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? I said the 8th round, but he was in there to end it in the 7th round. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, man, just get that nigga. Just carry him one more round, God damn it. You know? But let's get back more into what Boots is talking about. Cause I did not watch the post-fight thing. Okay, let's
Okay.
see.
You know, and take over this division. Sharpen up.
Jaron, congrats on the great performance and the knockout. It seemed like, you were hitting him with the jab early in the first 10 seconds of the fight, but you ultimately made it a fight and not just a boxing match. And made that young man fight for his life and made it a sink or swim kind of matchup, kind of fight. How much of that was on purpose, to break him in this fight? And do you feel like you broke him and it was smart of the towel to come in after that third knockdown? You got him to a knee.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I thought they should probably stop in like the fifth round. I think he should probably stop in the 5th round. He was taking a lot of punches and things like that. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I know you've been tired.
Man, let me tell you something, man. Boots, man, I just hate that he's not articulate, bro. I just hate that shit, man. It's like, God damn, yeah, it is. But I guess they make great fighters, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be articulate. You saw what the hell he did, but damn, Boots, give us more than that shit, man. It's like, come on, man. The man asked you a great question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, God damn.
Yeah, he's not a big
Yeah, what do you
talker.
think?
Yeah, he's not a big talker. He's not an eloquent speaker. You probably need somebody to speak for him. One thing about, you look at Devin Haney. Devin Haney is not a great eloquent. He's a good speaker, but he's not a great speaker either. But he's got his dad talking for him. His dad is a great talker, man, great promoter. That's what probably Boots need. His dad, Bootsy, he talk a little bit of trash. He talked a little bit of his stuff at the press conference, but he don't do a lot of interviews either. So he don't have a great PR team with him as far as somebody out there speaking on his behalf, man. But he's a lot of action in the ring, man. His fights are very, very exciting, and that's what it's all about. I'd rather it be that way than the other way. Give me some great talk and then be a boring fighter to watch.
But I want him to come out. Yeah, man. I knew I had to break Xander, man. I knew I had to stand my ground. Something. Yeah, man, I knew I had to take the fight to him, man. Psychologically, he was trying to intimidate me. He was trying to back me up into a corner. He was trying to be the man. He was trying to be the bully, and So I had to like really, tighten up and show him I was the man. So I had to step to him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I had to break him. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear something like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Not that, I just did what I had to do. I just did what I had to do. It was good. You know what I mean? I'm like, God damn, Boots. Damn, I guess you can't have every goddamn thing. You know?
Yeah,
he's not
hearing about
great
Terrence
talk.
Crawford throughout the build up to this fight, but he did tweet something that definitely seemed like in relation to this fight without saying much, but given a tweet right after the fight. Any response to Terrence Crawford, who had something to say?
Yeah, we ain't worriing about what he got to say. He retired. We focus on tasking him. Taking over this division. We ain't worried about the retired fighters.
Yeah, y'all keep on throwing Terrence up. Terrence, he's retired. You leave Terrence alone. Let him do what he's supposed to do. Y'all have fun and enjoy his family.
That one got on Bo's nerves right there, goddamn. You can see that look. That's that old man look right there. He's like, what are you talking about Terrence Crawford for? Well, he retired.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why is they bringing up Crawford? Crawford is retired. Why is they been that man traveling the world and stuff like that? Every time they have a big event overseas, he there. The man is enjoying himself, enjoying his family until he say he coming back. Man, why is you bringing this guy up? You got plenty of good fights at 154. You got Virgil Ortiz, you got Sebastian Fundora, you got Josh Kelly. Let the man clean up and take care of business at 154. Don't bring up a guy that said he's retired and gave no indication that he's coming out of retirement. I don't know why they keep bringing this guy up. It's crazy. It would have been a good fight back when Crawford and Earl Spence were the top guys at 147. He was right there trying to make it happen. It didn't happen. So let's move on, man. It's two different generations, man. This is the Bud Crawford era is over. He established himself, in my opinion, as the best fighter of this era when he beat Canelo. But now it's a new era, new generation. Let's talk about the guys that are making good fights now, like Boots Ennis, Inoue, Bam Rodriguez, Benavidez, Javante Tank Davis, Devin Haney, guys like that. Let's talk about guys like that, man. Crawford is retired.
Well, it's a way to little boy him, you know what I'm saying, for the media, because the media is always trying to control, you know what I'm saying, the messaging. They're always trying to control, you know what I'm saying, the reputations of these fighters. And, you always got to bring in somebody they think is greater, you know what I'm saying, with more potential, somebody who achieved more, you know what I'm saying, to bring in the big shoes for him to fill in, right? Right now, Crawford is retired, so that's a way to irritate the champion. You know what I'm saying, to little boy his accomplishments by mentioning him, you know what I'm saying, because they did have a rivalry. He's always compared to Bud Crawford. So, say, hey, dude, that's a way to say, hey, dude, yeah, you did good, but you still ain't no Bud Crawford. So, that kind of pisses this moment off to bring in Crawford. And if you notice, Boots really never try to bring up Crawford at all, and nothing, you know what I'm saying, that he does, unless he asked about it. He really don't even want to speak on Crawford, you know what I'm saying, because he know Crawford accomplishments. He just beat Canelo. He just done, he's 4-time, you know what I'm saying, undisputed. So he don't really want to talk about Crawford, because he wants people to concentrate on his legacy. You know what I'm saying, not on Bud Crawford legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Crawford's career is over. He's still building his career. Let's talk about Boots Ennis' career in comparison to Crawford when it's over. You can't compare it right now. He's in the middle of his career. Crawford's career is over. So he's had a lot of accolades. He's going into the Hall of Fame of Bud Crawford. So yeah, you can't compare them right now. Only compare him when his career is over. Then you can kind of compare him, and see put them side by side.
So he don't even have. Because he wasn't undisputed at 147, so he's definitely at least got to get one undisputed, and he still won't catch Crawford. So yeah, it's annoying. It's an annoying question, annoying.
Yep.
And it's not like Crawford gonna come back down to 154 any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Boots.
He made the statement.
Who that?
Blood made the statement.
All of them. I don't care who makes the statement. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you like it is.
Boots Bosey, man, congrats. Hell of a fight, hell of a performance, man. Question, were you more shocked that he made it out of that first round assault, or that he got up from that perfectly placed, the second knockdown? Were you more shocked that he got up from that or made it out of the first round?
I I don't know.
The world wants to know.
I mean, the first knockdown, I wasn't trying to like really rush it. You know, I knew he a game fighter. You know, he got good fundamentals. You know, he's a solid fighter, and he was a champion for a reason. So you can't just go in there and rush it and try to get the knockout. You know, you gotta be patient, and that's what I did. So, but the second knockdown, I definitely thought he was going. I ain't even gonna lie.
I want to count. I want to see the count back.
Yeah.
Yo, Eddie is even though he's a dull motherfucker, he always trying to create controversy. And you know what I'm saying, I don't think he's gonna get any controversy out of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't think it was anything corrupt going on. Even though, you know, they wanna pump up this fight and create, you know, a lot of talk around this fight. I mean, they don't need all that shit because this fight was already a classic in itself, man. This fight was so goddamn good, it was ridiculous. What's going on, Charles, in the building? What's going on, bro?
Man, what's going on, Paul? Man.
Oh, nothing much, bro. Well, hey, where you was last night, man? Oh man, well this shit was so goddamn good, bro.
Man, I went to yesterday, man. They had a projection screen up, man. So it was a sight to see that on the real big screen. Boots going crazy like that, man. Man, he was throwing some crazy stuff, man. That I was like his IQ on another level, man, because he was throwing some stuff. Like it was a jab he threw. He threw two uppercuts, and then like he threw his jab kind of like in the slant, man. It was amazing to watch, man. And then, you know, when he had got hurt, everybody at the fight party was like standing up. But I'm looking, right? And I realized, because I'm looking, I'm like, all right, I see him buzz, but I'm like, why is Xander not pressing the gas? But I'm paying attention. Like Boots is still tagging him while he's buzz. He was still tagging him, so that's why Xander wasn't putting his foot on the gas, because he was still getting hit. But yeah, I know a lot of people was talking about the buzz part, but me personally, that's what you want to see from a fighter. You want to see them get buzz and see how they react to it. You know, all the greats have gotten buzz through the history of boxing, man. But you know, it's just this new generation of boxing. They be so stuck on the negative, man. It was such a great fight yesterday, man. And you got some people who just focus on when Boots got hurt, man. But I'm glad that happened to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that happened to him in this situation. I would hate for that situation to happen to him for the first time fighting somebody like Fundora. You know what I mean? But I love the fight experience. That's fight of the year, man.
Yeah. So far this year, that's fight of the year.
I'm always talking about that experience, man. You know, when you get into trouble, you know what I'm saying? You saw what happened to Tank when he couldn't see. He took a knee. It's like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like they panic. Sometimes y'all think these fighters, you know, when they get into situations that they never experienced, they get a cut. You know what I'm saying? I've seen fighters, you know what I'm saying, just fall apart when they got a cut. You know what I'm saying? They get a bump on the head. You know what I'm saying? Fighters got to, you know, be able to prepare themselves for all these kind of things. And, you know, the more adversity that you go through, like Devin Haney getting beat down by Ryan Garcia, it made him mentally stronger. It makes you mentally stronger, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you come back and learn how to deal with and go through all these kind of adversities, it makes you a better fighter. It makes you a stronger fighter. You know, I'm glad, like you said, Charles, I'm glad that he went through this. You know what I'm saying? Because now he knows, you know what I'm saying, what they hitting like at 154. And Xander is not even the strongest hitter. He's not a power hitter like Donald was saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that he, you know, he had to grit his teeth, bite down on his gum shield, and like go forward, man. He showed that he got that. He's got that heart, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think he passed a big test. He answered some huge questions that we had for Jaron Boots Ennis. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so excited about it, because not a lot of fighters get tested before they really get tested. And he has an animal, a beast to go through in Fundora. So this fight tells me that he's not just going to get in there and go down from the first combinations or accumulation of punches. He's got enough heart and grit and determination to weather that storm and be able to win the fight.
Yeah. Even the top fighters get hurt, get hit. You know, we seen Floyd Mayweather get hurt against Sugar Shane Mosley. He responded and dominated the fight after that situation. We seen Shakur in the Zapata fight. He got hit knocked back. Even his daughter said he got hurt. He didn't admit it, but he got hurt. So, you know, even all the top, Devin Haney's been hurt. So, you know, all the top fighters have been hit. Inouye's been knocked down. He's been on the canvas before. So we've seen all the top guys been wobble before, but it's, you know, what you do after that. Do you weather the storm and come back stronger, or do you kind of fall apart? And we've seen a situation with Boots Ennis. He was able to weather that storm, and then he dominated after that point and stopped him in the 7th round. So that was, like you said, that was good to see. You know, we know he can weather the storm. He can face adversity in the face, and he can overcome it. So that's a good thing to see going forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna add something too. I know I've been hearing a lot of people talk like Virgil. Look, people need to understand, man. Xander was taking some shots yesterday, and I think the only way he was able to even withstand that is because he already big in size at that weight. Man, you take somebody down, man. Listen, nah, man, ain't nobody gonna be able to. I don't think Virgil will be able to survive that much of an onslaught because he's a much smaller fighter than Xander. And I think that's the only reason why Xander survived. But you can see what happened. Like, Xander had to get rushed to the hospital because people don't understand. Like, yeah, they may look good in the ring because of adrenaline and stuff, man. But after all that is gone, that's when you start feeling stuff. So I would tell Virgil, don't look at Xander thinking Boots ain't throwing no heat. Xander is bigger, man. You better be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, that's what Boost does, man. Boost put long-term damages on fighters, man. I remember in the Karen fights, man. You didn't see Karen for a minute after he fought Boost. He came back, had a fight or two since, but he's out the ring, man. He does a lot of damage to fighters. They're not the same. Look at Villa since Boots damaged him. He been getting knocked out left and right. You know, he had a strong chin before he fought Boots. Boots cracked that chin, and he ain't been the same since. Hopefully, that's why I kind of worried about going into this fight up with Zayas. You know, would he take too much punishment and his career be over before it actually started? But, you know, he took a beating. He got rushed to the hospital. Hopefully he'll be able to come back. I think he probably is going to move up to 160. That's a weight class where it's not a lot of big stars. I think he can go up there and win a belt and, you know, continue his career, man. He's still got a good career ahead of him. Hopefully he just didn't take too much punishment from this Boost fight where he won't be the same fight after this.
Yeah.
Well, another thing is that they don't talk about this man was a cruiserweight in there. They don't talk about that. This man was 180 pounds. That's what it was reported that he came in rehydrated up to. He was 180. Y'all saw how big that boy was?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Boots he was huge. You saw how much punishment he was absorbing. And it just got to the point where, you know, the body broke down. The extra weight kept him from moving because we all know that Xander moves in that ring, right? He wasn't able to move like that after, you know, Boots went to that body like that. He had to sit down and fight, and he just couldn't. He was too slow, you know what I'm saying? But nobody, you know, they really called Xander a weight bully. You know, I don't hear that in the media. I don't hear that nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But that's a tactic that a lot of fighters use. You know what I'm saying, to come in there to be able to overwhelm you, you know what I'm saying? And we saw the effects in the 3rd round of that extra weight. It's just that he didn't have anything left too much after that. You know what I'm saying? And Boots was able to weather that little weight bullet storm. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not talking about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that kid had all that confidence, because he knew what his plan was to go in there and bulldoze Boots. I've never seen Xander try to throw somebody around the ring, try to lean on him the way he did. You know what I'm saying? But he knew he was trying to wear Boots down. You know what I'm saying? But Boots, fast hands, you know what I'm saying, in exchanges, you know what I'm saying, going to the body. Man, he stayed on that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to knock Xander down 3 times in that goddamn fight. And I think that really sucked Xander's confidence down. I think if Xander could have kept his confidence and he was more of a brawler on the inside, this probably would have been different, because that size dudes matter, man. Size do matter, especially if you're a skilled fighter like Xander. He's just not an inside fighter. You know what I'm saying? His first instinct is to counterpunch after you. You know what I'm saying? And make you pay. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't, you know, he was really inaccurate in a lot of the shots that he was throwing too. And I think that's because his timing was off, because of the weight. You know what I'm saying? He got into the heat of the battle and he couldn't like really get the accuracy that he really needed. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that was due to Boots too, because he was beating him to the punch. He was taking them jabs to the face. You know what I'm saying? Boots was just too good, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of people really understand how good Jaron Boots Ennis is, because they're looking for his flaws. You know, They're looking for, they're trying to compare him to other fighters who have different skill sets, right? So, Boots got his own skill set, you know what I'm saying? So he has to be judged by, what but don't compare him to a Bud Crawford. Don't compare him to a Floyd Mayweather because he's none of those guys. You know what I'm saying? There's not too many guys, well, there's not nobody really that you compare them guys to but Boots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nobody fighting like that.
Yeah, he kind of like he don't. It's not the same style, but he kind of got that same mindset of a Thomas Hearns. He's a guy that Thomas Hearns was a great boxer. Few people don't know that he's a great boxer, but he chose to mix it up, and he was trying to get his opponents up out of there, and they kind of left him vulnerable. And he don't seem. I don't think he had a chin that Boots had. I think Boots has a better chin than Hearns had, but the same mindset. Boots can box too, but Boots go in there. He's looking to get his opponent up out of there. He's looking to destroy his opponent. So he's very, very ultra aggressive, and that kind of leaves openings for his opponents. But he seems to have the chin to withstand that so far. But the same mindset as a Thomas Hearns. He's not like a Floyd or a Shakur looking to box and stay out of harm's way, be defensively responsible, and box his way to a decision. He's looking to get his opponent up out of there. Very, very aggressive style that he has, along with his boxing skills. So I think it's kind of similar to Thomas Hearns in that regard.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
with that. I agree.
glad
With
you
that.
said that, man, because I'm from Detroit. So I'm glad you said that. Tommy Hearns.
Y'all violent, man. Y'all violent niggas up there.
Yeah,
violent.
The hitman, Thomas Hearns.
Yeah, man. He like the mirror up here, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I be seeing him at some of them fights and stuff like that. He used to be a lot of those fights previously. I haven't seen him nothing recently, but I know he used to be in a big fight. Hearns would be there. The hitman.
Yeah, back when he was younger, man, when he was fighting in his prime, he was just like he was a man of the people here, man. Like he would walk around in the hood, like he used to help out. Man, he was just always cool, man. So that's why he always, you ain't got to ever worry about hearing about Tommy Hearns getting robbed or something like that here, man. He all the way good here.
Yeah.
So so De Los Santos versus, man, that's a good fight. That's a good
they got a
fight.
fight on. That's a good thing. That's a good weekend of boxing. That's a good card. That's a rematch, and that should be exciting. If there's anything like that first fight, that's going to be exciting rematch. Both guys need a win too.
I may have to go live for that one. De Los Santos, right? That's a good ass fight, bro. Man, Rayo is deceptively good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't look like that nigga be moving fast, but that nigga be sidestepping, that nigga be gliding, man, in the ring. His fundamentals are awesome. That's a hell of a fight. That is one hell of a fight, man. I may have to go live on that, Donald. You know what I'm saying? I got to see. I got to check with my wife. I done been all up in this damn fight. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I got to see what the hell she wanted. We might have to go to a movie or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I got to put in the quality time. You ain't going live, goddamn it. God damn. God damn.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good fight. I think that card started kind of late. I think it started like 9:00 Central Time. So I think it's the main card. So it started a little late. So you better kind of catch it. Might be able to catch it later on, but it's gonna be a good fight. One thing I wonder with De Los Santos is he been a hella inactive since the Shakur Stevenson fought. I think he maybe fought one fight, and that was a 1-round knockout. So I don't know if Russ gonna play a part in this fight. That could be to his detriment. Rayo, he fought on an earlier Zuffa card, so he's been active. Before that, he fought Gary Antoine Russell. So and he fought Pitbull before that. So he's been very active. So that might be the difference in this fight. Rayo being the more active fighter, De Los Santos being rusty, timing might be a little bit off, and Rayo might be able to win a decision in this fight, in my opinion. Now, if De Los Santos has knocked the rust off in sparring, he come in like, he don't need no tune-up like Earl do, come in and don't miss a beat. If he's able to do that, then I like him, because I think both guys at their best. I think he's more explosive, and he got the power advantage. I think Rayo has enough openings in his defense, enough holes in his defense, where I think De Los Santos with his power will be able to stop him probably somewhere in the middle part of the fight. But again, I just don't know, with him being out the ring, he ain't had that many fights in the last 3 years. I think he might be kind of rusty, so that might give Rayo. I give Rayo the advantage in that regard. I think he probably wins the decision, man, based on the inactivity of De Los Santos.
Yep. I was just about to say Rayo was my guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like he beat Pitbull Cruz easily, bro. I mean, he circled that kid, man. Rayo boxing IQ is better than Dos Santos. Dos Santos, you know what I'm saying? He got a lot of power and everything, but I don't think he's as smart as Rayo in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I think Rayo learned a lot, you know what I'm saying, from his losses, and he's a damn better fighter. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's going to be a hell of a fight, man. I take Rayo in that fight, though. I take Rayo, you know.
Yeah, the
See,
winner of
let's see
that
what
fight
Boots.
could be a future opponent for Shakur Stevenson, man. I heard he got a Zuffa deal on the table. I don't think he signed it yet, but he definitely got a deal on the table. He probably looking at his options, but if he signs that deal, that could be the winner of this fight could be a Shakur Stevenson future opponent. So a lot on the line tonight. A lot on the line
He
tonight.
wasn't going back down.
Who Shakur?
What you say, Charles?
Yeah, where?
What you said,
Yeah,
Charles?
you're right. He might have to go back down because Zuffa, they don't do one. I don't know how they do it at Zuffa. I don't know if they do 140 there. Somebody say they do it. Somebody say they don't. But where is this? What weight is this fight at? I wonder. I think it's at 147, but I got to look at that. Where is this weight at? De Los Santos versus Rayo. Is it 135? Is it 140 or 147? What weight is it at?
Well,
Probably
I'm just hearing about
135.
it, so
Is that 135?
we'll see.
Yeah, I think so, man. But I kind of feel bad for Dos Santos, man, because he been inactive really, man. Because he's supposed to fight Keyshawn, and I felt like Shakur should have had the rematch with him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now
Yeah,
he's going
yeah.
to get a fight because don't nobody want to fight him.
See, that's why these fighters they'll never be seen as great fighters because they ducking the dangerous B. Now I ain't gonna say B. I ain't gonna call them a B level fighter, but they ducking the dangerous fighters. You know, it's like they don't want that fade. You know what I'm saying? And you can see it in the way they move. So, you know, to duck De Los Santos and he ain't even a champion like that, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know.
And you know, De Los Santos' promoter is
But
Brian
let's.
Norman Jr. That's his promoter, so it's gonna be Brian Norman Jr.'s first fighter up under. Well, big. He might have signed some other little local fighter, but it's his first big name that he signed. So we'll see what he do tonight.
You said Brian Norman Sr. or Jr.?
Brian Norman Jr. De Los Santos is that's De Los Santos promoter. Brian Norman Jr. is his promoter. Brian Norman Jr. got his own promotional company. He actually signing fighters and getting them a big fight. Yep. Yep, De Los Santos. That's the fight. When I first heard that, I was like, no. Then I looked it up. I was like, yeah, Brian Norman Jr. is his promoter. I don't know what I don't know what Brian Norman Jr.'s promotional company is. It's I don't know the name of it, but yeah, De Los Santos is up under his promotional company.
Wow.
You know, he had the confidence and you know, just levels.
I was hearing a lot in the build-up to this fight that you don't mind getting hit. You accept being hit so that you can stay in the pocket and exchange. Was that a decision you were making tonight, or was Xander landing punches?
Who said that?
this has been the narrative in the media. Well, you know, Jaron gets hit. But that's not what I'm saying. But Jaron gets hit because he lets himself be hit so that he can stay in the pocket and in exchange. So the punches landed on you were to Xander's credit.
I mean, you could say that, but then it's me having a little lazy moments and just not like, you know, being sharp like how I'm supposed to be, you know, and you gotta get out of that head, you know, just the little lazy moments, and we're gonna go work on that in the gym, you know, fix those things.
And lastly, giving yourself the C+, is that all you would work on? Is there any other adjustments you would make looking back on the fight?
We're gonna work on everything. You know, you can't never think you can't get better. You know, like, you can't get too big headed. You know, I'm gonna go back to working on whatever I need to work on, whether it's a jab, you know, movement, you know, defense, you know, just work on everything. You know, just get better.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Now I think that was that radio.
Yeah, radio Raheem.
That was that radio. Yeah, that was Radio Raheem. He always gonna come in with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he already know what people are talking about, and you know he gonna ask them down kind of aggravating ass questions and stuff. You know, because he was. I seen him do that interview before, and he was bringing some of this shit up. You know what I'm saying? That dude right there. I'm sorry. That's the one who Wilder got pissed off with when he was talking about till this day. You know what I'm saying? That famous line that when Wilder said, till this day. You know what I'm saying? And that was Radio Raheem. He's always yeah, Yeah, stirring the
Yeah,
pot
Wilder,
on
Wilder was on
motherfuckers.
some
You know what I'm
Black
saying?
Power stuff, and Radio Ryan act like he didn't know what he was talking about. It made Wilder mad. He was on some Black Power stuff, and Radio Ryan, what do you mean? What are you saying? What you talking about, man? You've been through this like I've been through this. You look around here, walk around here, tap dancing for these people. Man, let me tell you, they got Wilder mad. Wilder, that's what he say to this day.
Yeah,
Because he had just got into it with Fury on stage. They got into it like a little pushing.
your people too. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Your people too. God damn
yeah,
it. It's like
Radio right here coming in now with that. Yeah, Wilder, I understand. Black power, baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. He said they are sea level. What's going on, Sinai? Don says his promotional company name is called Throwback Boxing. You know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
Which is cool, which is smart. Yeah. Yeah, that's smart, man. You know what I'm saying? Look like they're gonna try to, be a part of this thing. You know what I'm saying? That Brian Norman Jr., tightening up his skills with Ronnie Shields was a good idea. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he fired his dad because his dad was not a great fighter either. You know what I'm saying? Brian Norman Jr., you know what I'm saying? So I seen him fight Greg Hackett. You saw that Greg Hackett fight? And
Yeah,
he
I
beat
saw that hood
his dad
finish.
beat Greg Hackett.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says radio right here is the definition of a house Negro.
Yeah. What do you mean by house Negro? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, Pat in the building? God damn it, what's on Pat up in the building? He says, yeah, you can always count on radio or him to poke the sore eye with them type of questions. Yeah, I mean, and I like when he be on there with Sean Ziegler, I
Yeah,
think that's how you
Sean
say his name.
Cecile. Sean
Yeah,
Cecile, yeah.
Zaya, yeah. I like, yeah, he be looking at Ron like he a fucking alien sometimes. He be looking
Yeah.
at Ron with some of them takes Ron be coming that way. He be looking at him like he a damn alien. I said, he more black than you, boy. What's up with you? What's up with you, boy? You crazy as hell. Sean be looking at him like, is this kid serious? He be coming out
Yeah.
like he's a pocket protector nerd. He come off like he's a pocket protector nerd, bro.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
all
in
over that.
this kind of business.
Yeah,
The
oh,
Devin
yeah,
and
he
Boots.
looking at.
Yeah, I know. They keep trying to pit Devin up against Boots. It's like, they always trying to pit them two together, but you know what I'm saying? I think they may, I mean, I don't know if Boots if he unifies and becomes undisputed, you know what I'm saying, that could be a big fight before Boots leave 154, but I don't see Devin leaving 147 anytime soon. You know, maybe next year, Devin will be at 154. It just depends on how his fights goes at 147. You know what I'm saying, and what decisions that he make with Zuffa boxing. So, you know what I'm saying, that's like, that's they always pitting them two against each other.
Yeah,
Now I don't want to see them fight. Go ahead.
no, not now.
Go ahead.
Bill Haney say he on the list though, so that's a future fight. I don't know about the biggest fight in boxing. I think the biggest fight in boxing is what he's negotiating right now with Tank Davis. I think that actually be a bit bigger than Boots, the Boots fight. So hopefully that fight get over the line. They can agree on some kind of catch weight, but no rehydration clause. I don't think it'll be no rehydration clause. They can. I think, if the fight get done, I would imagine it'd be around 142, 143, 144, somewhere in that range. No catch weight. And hopefully they get that fight done. That would be the biggest fight in boxing, the biggest fight of 2026 if it gets made. So hopefully it gets made. And Boots got business to take care of at 154. He want to be undisputed. What he didn't accomplish at 147, he's going to be looking to accomplish that at 154. Maybe by that time, Devin Haney will be took care of business at 147. And then he can move up, and that'll make for a super fight. Guy coming up from welterweight to junior middleweight, that'll make for a super fight.
Yeah, I think Devin should wait to fight Boots. It's the right time to be fighting Boots right now.
Mm-hmm.
Say, man, what is it you and with Devin Haney, bro? This dude told us no such thing as the biggest fight with Devin Haney name in it. Boy, that boy do not. Boy, I mean, what did he do? Did he take your girl, man? God damn. He said Devin is going after Boots. Would be bad for his health. Yeah, I don't see Devin winning that one. He says do the Devin Haney, boy. Let me tell you, boy, Devin got a lot to go through. He got a lot to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he a Muslim, so he can block out you the people that hate him, man. It's like that kid just go for the best fights that he can go for. I don't see why Devin gets all this hate. It's just ridiculous, bro. I like him better than Shakur Stevenson. I like him better than Ryan Garcia. Cause them dudes, I like him better than Keyshawn Davis. You know what I'm saying? I like the fighters that go for the top fights. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't understand why he gets so much hate down there. You know, Devin seemed like the only one that really wants to fight everybody. So, you know, it is
Yeah.
what it is.
and he has the
I
better
mean,
resume as well.
yeah, I mean, shit, he got the accolades of undisputed. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
people don't, they really don't respect that, man. They really don't. He said Devin's career is already over. He says y'all rooting for a dead body already. Man, hey, I can see seeing Ironheart. He probably got goddamn what you call them things, what they call altars and shit with Devin. He probably got voodoo dolls sticking needles in that man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about he probably got seances and shit for the downfall of Devin Haney. It's like, God damn.
Bro, what did Devin do
Donaldson,
to you,
no,
bro?
I think Devin could definitely fight against Boots. Okay. You know, Devin thinks he got enough flaws so Devin can beat him. You know. I don't know. They're in two different weight classes. You know, unless Devin expressed, you know, I know he's on the list, but unless Devin mentioned him, you know what I'm saying, and they put Boots up there, if he's gonna, you know, go up to another weight class. I mean, really, the time to fight him would be now because he got two belts. You know what I'm saying? Shit, take your ass up there and try it. You know what I'm saying? To see if you could beat that man. Shit, you know, don't talk about it, be about it. You know, I would love to. You know, I don't really want to see. I want to see Dev whip some ass at 147 first. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him whip some ass at 147. You know what I'm saying? And he got to get the fights down there. So, you know, he got to establish himself at 147. Just by beating Brian Norman ain't going to get it done. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's a good fight, but, you know, so I want to see him get back with Ryan Garcia, get back. And then once he can beat Ryan Garcia, go if he can get that Shakur Stevenson fight. He got some names that he could go to. The Tank fight, he's going to have to cut too much weight, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If they meet at 140, that's 7 pounds is a lot for Devin. I think that put him at a disadvantage. You know, Tank gonna come straight at him because he knows, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, Devin, you know, ain't gonna be in 100% health. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like the disadvantage fights, you know. I want to see fighters fighting their full weight classes and things of that nature. You know, either Tank move up, take the risk, or you know what I'm saying, you know, just fight somebody. You got enough competition down at 135 to deal with. You got so many people at 135 you can fight. I don't know why you're trying to, you know, bring people down to you, you know, that you know, that's gonna put them at a detriment. You know, go ahead and fight Abdullah Mason. Go ahead and fight Ray Matola. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and fight that new kid, that Hera, what his name? Jara Hera,
You
something like
talking
that.
about Dalton?
I think
Dalton Smith? No, he at 140, my bad. You talking about 135, right?
no,
I'm talking about Hiroka?
he got like he's like
You talking
no,
about
he's
Hiroka?
like the WBC. No. Her Hera, Angel. Is it Hera? Is it he's the WBC interim champion right now. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? He thought he was going to be elevated from that belt that Shakur Stevenson got stripped of at 135. He's WBC interim champion. You know, I think they might have elevated him. I'm not sure. No. They got what's his name fighting for the WBC belt. They got Lamont
Rose Jr. is
Peterson
a Zapata.
and
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
Zapata. They fighting for the belt.
Zapata. Yeah, but he's the WBC interim champion. Now Herrera, Angel Herrera's son, you know what I'm saying, is his name John something. They be coming with these weird ass fucking name, Herrera, but he's the WBC interim champion. And he can fight. He can fight now. You know, Tank can fight that dude. He can fight one of them. Yeah, you know, he
Yeah,
can fight
the
one of
thing
them. I don't know why. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
the thing about it is that, you know, how much money in a fight with a Herrera, you know, even though Tank is a draw, you know, I heard that he was asking for a lot of money for the kid Schofield fight. That's one of the reasons why that fight didn't go down, man, because of, PBC do the eat what you kill type of blueprint, back a lot of back end money, but I do think Tank want a guarantee. He want a certain amount of a guarantee for the fight. And I think what he was asking for was too much for Schofield. So that's why he kind of turned toward Devin Haney, which is a bigger name than Schofield, and he can ask for, you know, a much bigger guarantee. Even though PBC don't give you big guarantees, they do. I think he asked for some form of a guarantee. I think he probably would be able to get that with a Devin Haney, what he wouldn't get with a Kid Austin. So we'll see if that fight get done. If I agree with you though. If I'm Devin Haney, I wouldn't go to 140. You get 144. You agree to that? The fight Shakur, that would be a good weight to fight Tank at. Tank fought at 140 when he fought Barrio, so he at 135 right now. So he can come up, 4 pounds higher than what high as he's been at, and then Devin Haney can come down, 3 pounds. And he fought Jose Ramirez a fight ago. He fought Jose Ramirez at 144. So it ain't like he been he been at 147 for a long time. So he just fought it that way. So 144, maybe 142, 143, somewhere in that range. I wouldn't go no lower than 142 if I'm Devin Haney. But if I get 144, that'll be a good weight for the fight to happen at.
No doubt. And with that, y'all, we're gonna come to a close. I got some things I need to do today, but I wanted to do a wrap up. Man, when I tell you this fight, gave us, a good look at what Jaron Boots Ennis, can do with a skilled opponent at 154. Everybody complained when he took the light touch. I thought it was a smart move, to get his feet wet at 154. And now it's time for him to go down the gauntlet. And now he has set the standard. He has set the expectations for all of us, because now he can't take no low competition anymore. He can't fight them little dudes no more. Now Boots has got to go. He's made himself a superstar, in the eyes of the public. So now he's got to do what superstars do. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. So now he's got to fight the Fondoras. Now he's got to fight the big names. He got to fight the Virgil Ortiz. He's got to make it do what it do. Now that we see that he could take a punch at 154, now we see he got grit. Now he got determination. We Boots has arrived, y'all. So I don't want to hear no more about, Boots is, saying like he's some kind of hype job or anything. No, the kid is real, man. He's a real fighter. He's got real skills to deal with. And he got a tall task in front of him. We've got that last hurdle that you got to cross. And everybody, nobody's saying that he could just beat Fundora like that. Because really, to me, he's the underdog in the situation. When you compare him against Fundora. So, with that, we're gonna wrap it up. JB, thank you for coming up, bro. So I don't have to hear my own voice 247.
Yeah.
You know how pool kind of boxing get there.
Right.
I'm glad. I know you can talk this damn thing just as well as me. So, but man, thank y'all for coming through, man. Saying, the family, the 300, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Smash that like button for your boy, And I'm gonna see if I got some time. I got to check the temperature with my wife, cause I've been on this shit all weekend. And I'm gonna see if we could cover that Del Santos fight probably later on. But until then, man, hey man, y'all take it easy out there, man, and thank y'all for coming through, man. Peace out, everybody.
All right, man. You take it easy, Pool Connor. Peace out.
Hey, no problem. Peace out.